to prove that drinking cold water won't get stuck in your teeth, but hot water will. A girl actually pours boiling water at 800 degrees directly into her mouth. Without any suspense, she dies on the spot, but unexpectedly, she transmigrates into the most despised woman in the interstellar world. A runaway father, a mother burned to death, a sister who steals her man, and her own vicious nature. But this catastrophic beginning isn't the worst. It only gets worse. Her 5 husbands are also secretly plotting to take their wife's life. Fortunately, this is an interstellar beast world with a matriarchal society. If a wife dies during marriage, the husbands will also transform into beasts and become complete puppets. They're unwilling to take that risk, so they can only force the girl to divorce first. At this moment, Cindy stares blankly at the divorce papers on the table. Standing in front of her is a man with sharp, handsome features and orange-red eyes that constantly reveal ferocity. "Cindy, stop pretending to be confused. Today you either divorce or become a widow." Blake's orange eyes instantly fill with bloodshot veins, and his whole body is like a lit powder keg. "Divorce? Count me in." Cindy suddenly feels a bone-chilling coldness attacking from behind. Shadow appears ghost-like behind her, his ice-blue vertical pupils narrowing into thin slits as he leans close to her ear. "If you don't want to taste my venomous fangs, sign my divorce papers too." Cindy spins around sharply. Just one glance at those ice-blue vertical pupils makes her feel like she's falling into an Arctic abyss. She takes a deep breath, suppressing the fear in her heart. "Sorry, you two," before she can finish speaking. A golden-haired, noble and elegant handsome man walks out of the kitchen carrying a cup of water. "My lady, it's cold today. Have some hot water to warm yourself up." Are you kidding? In this strange place, with strangers offering her water, how dare she drink it? But these 3 men, though their words and actions are strange, she has to admit their looks are truly stunning. Cindy just stares at them in a daze. "Since my lady doesn't want to drink water, why not sign my divorce papers first?" Seeing Cindy give no response, Timothy pulls out another A4 paper from his space ring. "And ours too." 2 tall men walk through the front door one after another. The man in front has silver eyes and a gentle, soft appearance. The man behind has pink-orange eyes and a youthfully handsome face. "You're all my husbands?" Cindy looks at these 5 devastatingly handsome husbands, and some steamy scenes involuntarily flash through her mind. "I'm Luna the Silver Wolf, and he's Cecil the Peacock. Don't tell me you've forgotten again?" Luna's voice carries deep resentment and disappointment. "Soon we won't be anymore. If it weren't for the marriage contract binding us, how could we possibly be tormented like this by an F-rank waste?" Blake slams his fist hard on the table. "That was too harsh." Timothy looks at Blake with a warning in his eyes. "You think I want this?" Every time we mention divorce, she pretends to be crazy and acts dumb. "I'm sick of this undignified, living hell existence." Blake's veins bulge, and murderous intent flashes in his eyes. "No, that's not." Cindy is about to play weak to gain sympathy when suddenly a fragment of memory floods into her mind. She actually transmigrated into a book. She transmigrated into this interstellar beast world, where women are few and men are many, with a matriarchal society becoming a 19-year-old vicious female supporting character with the same name. The original soul's mother was a planetary lord with SS rank mental power. Unfortunately, the original soul was switched at birth and later found by her family, only to discover her mental power was only F rank, making her a freak and waste in everyone's eyes. From then on, the original soul became arrogant, domineering, and vicious. Until a year ago, the original soul, who had just been matched with 5 husbands, caused a great disaster that resulted in the entire planet's population perishing in flames. Only the original soul and her sister survived. The interstellar military court, considering she was a rare woman, gave her a lenient sentence and exiled her to this S-rank wasteland called Hell's Gate. Also, according to interstellar marriage law, when a wife commits a crime, the husband shares the punishment. Her 5 husbands were naturally also exiled here. During the year after exile, the original soul not only showed no remorse, but became even worse, subjecting her 5 husbands to extreme humiliation, causing their mental seas to frequently riot and bringing them to the brink of death. Finally, the 5 husbands could bear no more and would rather be sent to the frozen lands to stand guard than stay married to the original soul. This led to the opening scene. After receiving the memories, Cindy feels a chill down her back. "Cindy, go die!" Blake suddenly erupts, lunging at Cindy's neck. "Blake, are you insane? Stop!" Luna shouts sternly, moving to intervene. It's not that they truly worry about Cindy, but because interstellar marriage law stipulates that if a wife dies during marriage, the husband will lose all abilities. And without the wife's mental power to soothe them, they'll also face mental riots and death. What's happening? Blake's rampage level has shot up to 67. Stop him quickly. If it reaches 70, he'll be beyond saving. Timothy's face turns grave as he blocks Cindy. Cindy feels Blake's oppressive aura making her vision darken, her consciousness seemingly drawn into a mysterious space. Suddenly, an ethereal mechanical voice echoes in her mind. Wood type ability awakened. Ability name, Daughter Vine. Ability level, first rank. Low rank Daughter Vine is soft and delicate, can only depend on male strength. Earth, absorbing nutrients from their bodies to survive. Nutrients include but are not limited to male beast rampage levels and male beast essence. The golden finger has arrived. Cindy feels warmth emanating from her fingertips. In the darkness before her eyes, a massive Black Panther slowly materializes. It's covered in wounds, glaring at Cindy with murderous intent. After roaring at Cindy with bared teeth, it collapses unconscious. The surrounding ground suddenly cracks and collapses violently, while the panther's wounds rapidly fester. Is this Blake's mental landscape? And is this wounded panther Blake's mental entity? Following the original soul's memories, Cindy gently places her palm on the panther's forehead. The daughter vine seedling at her fingertips quickly spreads and covers the wounds, and the panther's injuries begin to slowly heal. The panther, originally fierce and ruthless, slowly opens its eyes and affectionately rubs against Cindy's calf. Sorry, my current mental power can only do this much. Cindy strokes its head, then slowly stands up, suddenly feeling dizzy and wanting to fall into deep sleep. As an invisible force sharply cuts the mental thread, both Blake and Cindy in the room simultaneously go limp and collapse. What happened? Blake's rampage level dropped to 55. Even an SS rank woman couldn't do that. Could it be my lady? But her mental power is only F rank. Lowering it by 0.5 would be impressive. Timothy feeds Cindy a green potion. Are you crazy? That's your only life-saving medicine. Luna's eyes widen in disbelief. The divorce papers aren't signed yet, so the lady can't die. And didn't you notice the lady seemed different just now? Her eyes, temperament, speech. It's like she's not the same demon we knew before. Timothy continues treating Cindy. Also, Blake will probably sleep for a long time. Shadow, you're on night watch tonight. Cecil and Luna, you two guard him? Cecil looks at Timothy suspiciously. What about you? I'll guard her. Timothy steadily lifts the unconscious Cindy and heads upstairs to the bedroom. Cecil stands frozen for a long moment before snapping back to reality. Shadow, Luna, did you notice he's acting very strange tonight too? Fool! I see he refuses to admit defeat until faced with overwhelming evidence. Shadow's face is full of mockery as he sneers and turns to leave. Only Cecil and Luna remain in the living room staring at each other. Soon, very soft snoring comes from Blake on the sofa. Both men's eyes widen in shock. They rarely heard snoring after turning 18. After male awakening abilities bring mental sea riots, the higher the rampage level, the more severe complications like headaches become, making good sleep nearly impossible unless a woman with extremely high mental power helps with conditioning. Luna stares at Blake, closes his eyes to sense. Steady breathing, deep sleep, just like he'd received. Deep conditioning from a mid to high rank woman. Could it really be her? Both look up toward the upstairs simultaneously. Meanwhile, in the upstairs bedroom, Cindy looks at the unfamiliar environment with confused eyes. She quickly searches the original soul's memories and realizes she's in the house's bedroom, also the only bedroom in this small house. Being exiled to a wasteland, but considering women are precious, she was allocated a bedroom with a bathroom. As for her 5 husbands, when not on night watch or participating in labor reform missions, they must spend at least 4 hours daily in the dark dungeon. Essentially, the original soul committed crimes while the husbands were punished. Cindy mentally curses the foolish original soul another 100 times. You're awake? Timothy approaches with a gentle smile, a hint of barely detectable inquiry flashing behind his glasses. Is Blake okay? Timothy's fingers, which were adjusting the medicine, suddenly freeze. My lady actually learned to care about people. Since you're awake, drink this medicine first. A pungent smell enters her nostrils, making Cindy frown involuntarily. I forgot my lady's neck is injured and she can't move. He drinks a mouthful of the medicine and leans down towards Cindy. Cindy instinctively grabs the bedsheet tightly, then closes her eyes, her long lashes trembling restlessly on her eyelids. Timothy's face gradually approaches until Cindy can clearly feel his warm breath gently brushing against her face. Just as Cindy is torn with confusion, Timothy suddenly stops less than 3 centimeters from her red lips. The medicine flows into Cindy's mouth in vaporized form. Cindy's ears instantly turn red, the blush spreading from her neck to her cheeks. It's finished. I thought what? Timothy's lips curl into a playful smile. Nothing. Cindy waves her hands frantically, not daring to meet his eyes. My lady seems to have become more timid. Cindy feels speechless hearing this. If I were bolder and more bad-tempered, I'd be dead by now. Fortunately, among the 5 husbands, there's at least one who's decent to her. But why are they all clamoring for divorce? While Timothy seems different toward her, the original soul's memories contained very little evaluation of the 5 husbands. She decides to cling to one reliable ally first, and take things step by step. I'm a bit thirsty. Could you go downstairs and get me some warm water? Timothy smiles warmly and heads downstairs. Only then does Cindy quickly touch her bracelet to check information. This exists like a phone. After reading it, her heart sinks. Not one of her 5 husbands is easy to deal with. What is my lady thinking about? A gentle voice suddenly sounds. Cindy, who was thinking with her eyes closed, jumps and almost cries out, "Sorry for startling, my lady." Timothy then skillfully half lifts her, helping her sit more comfortably. Cindy steadies herself, her mind racing. Thinking about you. Really? Timothy's pale, handsome face immediately moves a few inches closer. Cindy looks at the face so close to hers, unconsciously moistening her lips lips and softly humming in agreement. She's not lying. She was indeed thinking about how to handle Timothy and the other 4 husbands. She knows that tigers, especially Leo tigers, have extremely strong desires for control and possession. So in front of Timothy, she decides to play the role of a gentle, obedient kitten to earn temporary protection and peace. My lady is really different today. Timothy's lips curve slightly upward as he prepares to stand up. Suddenly, eerie howls and Shadow's angry shouts come from outside the window. There's no moon tonight. Puppet corpse legions are coming. Timothy sets Cindy on the bed, preparing to go downstairs. Can you not leave tonight? I'm so scared alone. Cindy's fear is unfeigned, as real as the dangerous aura rushing in from outside the window. Timothy looks at her, a barely perceptible contemplation flashing in his eyes. Tonight's puppet corpses are numerous. I need to help downstairs. How about we go down together? Okay, wherever you go, I'll go. Cindy's eyes are determined as she nods firmly. Timothy raises an eyebrow slightly, curiosity flashing in his eyes. Aren't you scared anymore? Scared, but with you here, I'm not as afraid. After saying this, Cindy feels goosebumps all over her body. Hearing this, Timothy decisively lifts her up. Having her around is good. After all, he clearly heard that Blake's rampaging mental C was most likely calmed by her. He just can't figure out how she, with F-rank mental power, managed to do it. Arriving downstairs, the room is pitch black, and Blake is nowhere to be seen on the sofa. Timothy carefully places Cindy by the sofa. You're going to fight puppet corpses too? Cindy looks shocked, her eyes full of confusion. Tonight's low-rank puppet corpses. One more person means one more strength. Timothy nods slightly, his eyes determined. This house is provided by the interstellar prison and has some protective functions. Stay inside and don't come out. Cindy watches him disappear. Thinking to herself that her husbands are quite united in private, Cindy takes a deep breath and slowly moves toward the window. When she sees the battle scene outside clearly, she nearly collapses. She finally remembers why this wasteland is called Hell's Gate. This place isn't just an exile site for serious criminals. It's also a distribution center for puppet corpses. Every moment, puppet corpses surge into this planet through time rifts, along with other strange mutant beasts. Cindy can't help but shiver. Without the protection of 5 husbands, forget 100 years of exile, she probably wouldn't see tomorrow's sun. This marriage absolutely cannot be divorced. She needs to turn enemies into friends. But to reverse the original soul's vicious impression, whether through acting or other means, she needs to think carefully. While pondering, the space lock on the door suddenly opens, and 4 tall figures file in. Timothy has some bloodstains on his face and body. He just glances at Cindy indifferently and heads to the kitchen. Luna's arms have grown a layer of fine wolf fur. Cecil's head is full of ruffled peacock feathers. Shadow, walking last, is basically covered in snake scales. He sneers coldly and lies down on a sofa. Cecil and Luna look at Cindy with conflicted eyes. They want to seek help, but remembering her past terrible behavior, they swallow back the words that reach their lips. Cindy scans over the 3 men's heads and roughly estimates their rampage levels. Shadow's rampage level is 60, Luna's is 58. Cecil's is 55. All 3 are teetering on the edge of danger, and Shadow's mental C could collapse at any moment. She hesitates whether to offer mental C conditioning. Timothy walks out of the kitchen carrying a small pile of bright transparent stones. My lady, for you, these are crystal cores pried from those puppet corpse heads. In the interstellar beast world, crystal cores are essential for both mental power and ability upgrades. These are what you risked your life to get. I'll keep one as a memento. That's enough. Cindy picks one and returns all the remaining crystal cores. You need to absorb more to upgrade your abilities so you can better protect me. Timothy suddenly leans down and whispers in her ear, Has my lady forgotten? I can't upgrade abilities on my own. Some memory fragments suddenly flash in Cindy's mind, and she instantly blushes to her ears. Luna and Cecil exchange complicated glances at Cindy and head to the kitchen. When first exiled to this wasteland, all 5 men dutifully protected her. Every time they successfully hunted puppet corpses and obtained crystal cores, they would automatically hand over a portion to her without hesitation. But Cindy at that time not only showed no gratitude, but always looked disgusted, constantly calling them wastes for giving too little. From then on, the 5 men reached an understanding to stop handing over crystal cores. Timothy's action of handing over crystal cores just now shocked Cecil and Luna, while filling them with confusion. But today's Cindy indeed seems like a different person. Do you think she might have a second personality emerging? Cecil seems to remember something. Hard to say. Whether it's a second personality or something else, we need to take this opportunity to divorce as quickly as possible. Luna glances at Timothy's back, feeling like he has secrets he hasn't told them today. Blake is still in the dungeon. Give these crystal cores to her, hoping she'll be in a better mood and not be too harsh on Blake tomorrow. The 2 men return to the living room one after another and walk directly to Cindy. Cecil's face shows nervousness and shyness. My lady, these are our crystal cores. Cindy looks up in surprise, stunned for a second. I was wrong before. She takes only 1 second to build up emotion, and her clear doe eyes immediately mist up with tears. I'll definitely change in the future. Cindy's voice becomes even softer, as if afraid of hurting their feelings. I appreciate the gesture, but I can't take your crystal cores. Why? Didn't you take Timothy's? At this moment, the male male competitive instinct when facing females is instantly triggered. I don't care, I'm leaving mine here anyway. Cecil's peacock feathers suddenly bristle up. Mine's here too. Please remember to collect it, my lady. Luna also places his crystal cores down. Here are mine. Want them or not? Shadow suddenly throws a large handful of bloody crystal cores precisely onto the table in front of Cindy. Cindy sees those crystal cores reeking of blood and still stained with white brain matter, her face paling as she instinctively burrows into Timothy's arms. Don't be afraid! Timothy gently pats her back, softly comforting her. Luna and Cecil watch the two embracing and feel a strange emotion flash through their hearts. Shadow coldly glances at them and is about to leave, but just as he stands up, his whole body seems drained of all strength and he slumps back down, his body beginning to tremble uncontrollably. Oh no! Shadow's rampage level has risen to 69.99. Cecil's peacock feathers on his head stand straight up. Timothy frowns, about to step towards Shadow when he feels his little finger being lightly hooked by Cindy. Can I go condition him? Timothy smiles warmly. You can do whatever you want, but be careful. Shadow is now surrounded by a cold, murderous aura, his entire body covered in ice-blue snake scales. His originally handsome face now appears fierce and mysterious. The higher a male beast's rampage level, the more obvious their beast transformation becomes. Cindy's body trembles slightly as she walks forward, as if facing not a person but a primordial beast. Stopping 1 meter away from Shadow, Cindy's voice is gentle with genuine concern. Shadow, your rampage level is too high. Let me help you. Don't need your fake sympathy. Shadow's blood-red vertical pupils glance at her, his previously slumped body instantly straightening, clearly rejecting Cindy's approach. Looking at Shadow, Cindy feels increasingly panicked. For women below A rank, the best way to use mental power to condition partners is forehead-to-forehead contact, as this is the fastest way to enter the other's mental sea. Looking at Shadow's face covered in ice-blue snake scales and bloodstains, then thinking about touching foreheads with him, Cindy's palms instantly break out in cold sweat. Don't be afraid, I'm right behind you. Timothy's eyes show a hint of anticipation. Did he mishear before, or can she really calm Shadow down like she did with Blake? I'd rather die than let you handle me. With your pathetic mental power, save it for when puppet corpses come to save yourself. Shadow's chest heaves violently with anger, and his wounds tear larger from the movement, bright red blood seeping out. Seeing this, Cindy's eyes immediately redden. I can do it! Trust me! She bites her lip, takes a deep breath, reaches out to support Shadow's shoulders, bends her legs and straddles his lap. Shadow's blood-red vertical pupils instantly widen. Before he can react, Cindy has already gently pressed her forehead against his. Just as Cindy thinks Shadow will obediently accept the conditioning, Shadow suddenly reaches out with both hands, gripping her slender waist like iron clamps. Their current position becomes even more intimate. You think you can control me? Shadow's gaze falls on her tender lips so close to his. Luna and Cecil exchange glances, both looking surprised. Timothy's hands hanging at his sides unconsciously clench, his warm eyes turning cold and deep, with a hint of jealousy flashing through. Cindy suppresses her discomfort and firmly grasps Shadow's face, already covered in snake scales. Her mental power slowly unfolds, her vision darkens, and Cindy feels bone-piercing cold attacking from all directions. When she opens her eyes, she's standing at the entrance of an ice and snow castle. This is Shadow's mental landscape. A giant blue python, wrapped in spiked iron chains, lies powerlessly coiled on the throne. Its eyes are full of vigilance, sizing up this girl who suddenly intruded into his private domain. You're injured. Let me help you. With a thought, Cindy's daughter vine tendrils slowly extend from her fingertips, wrapping around the blue snake. Cindy reaches out and gently covers the blue snake's forehead with her hand. A beam of pale golden light flows from her pale palm into the blue snake's body. Shadow's ravine-like wounds gradually heal, and then he falls asleep. Only then does Cindy see clearly that the spiked iron chain has no lock at all. The cyan snake imprisoned and wounded itself. This castle originally had no doors either. It imprisoned itself. Cindy frowns slightly as she helps remove the chains. Male mental landscapes not only reflect their ability levels but also show their deepest desires. Shadow's mental landscape is obviously different from same-rank beastmen. Does he harbor a dream of being an ice prince deep in his heart, or is he actually an ice prince? Before Cindy can think more, she feels her eyelids grow heavy and slowly closes her eyes while leaning against the throne. At this moment, the snake scales on Shadow's body instantly disappear. Timothy sees this scene, and a brief flash of confirmed joy streaks by like a meteor. My God! Shadow, your rampage level plummeted to 49. Incredible. The person who saved Blake before really was my lady. Cecil's expression is shocked as he screams. At this moment, Cindy slowly awakens, rubbing her eyes. Suddenly realizing she's still on Shadow, she instinctively tries to escape. Before her legs can move down, Shadow quickly reaches out one hand to protect her injured neck, while his other hand firmly grips her slender waist as he slowly leans down and kisses her. This kiss is like a dragonfly touching water, ice cold and cool, but Cindy clearly feels a sharp pain on her lips. It turns out Shadow exposed his fangs and lightly bit her. Cindy is both angry and annoyed, wanting to immediately slap him, but her expression still maintains a pitiful appearance. Annoying, that was my first kiss. "You're all crazy. Every single one of you is crazy." Cecil's face is full of anger as he stamps his foot hard, the peacock feathers on his head instantly bristling. In an unnoticed corner, the pure boy's passionate heart quietly breaks. Timothy's expression is complex as he gently strokes the girl's hair. "Let me take you back to your room to rest." Cindy shows weakness with a touch of shyness and softly agrees. Just as she tries to move, Timothy scoops her up in a princess carry. Cindy pouts like a child who did something wrong, then reaches out to wrap her arms tightly around the man's neck. Timothy steadily carries her upstairs, enters the room, locks the door, carries her to the bedside, and carefully sets her down, then kneels on one knee in front of her. Cindy thinks he's going to question her about what just happened, but he doesn't speak, so Cindy continues playing dumb, putting on an innocent expression. Her doe eyes blink innocently, the reddish eye corners full of confusion. This pitiful appearance instantly hits the softest part of the man's heart, making him want to bully her thoroughly. Timothy stands up and pulls her into a tight embrace, his head gently resting on her shoulder. "My lady, I'm jealous." Cindy's mind goes blank. Before she can react, the man's large hand domineeringly cups her head while his other hand steadily supports her slender waist, leaning down to kiss her passionately. This kiss is burning, deep, dominating, and lingering. Cindy feels her breathing, becoming more rapid, her delicate body seemingly melting into a pool of tender spring water. After a long while, Timothy finally stops. "My lady's neck isn't healed yet. No strenuous activity for 3 days." After saying this, he sets her down and gently covers her with the blanket. Cindy doesn't know how long she slept. When she drowsily awakens again, there's a white tiger with upward eye blant and white forehead lying beside her. She takes a deep breath, trying to calm herself down. In the interstellar beast world, male beast men usually transform into beast form to rest when there's no female companionship, as this better helps recover energy and abilities. The white tiger senses the sound and slowly opens its eyes, revealing a pair of brilliant, gentle golden pupils. The next second, the noble and elegant Timothy reappears before Cindy. After washing up together, they head downstairs hand in hand. Looking at the empty house, Cindy suddenly has a bad feeling. Those husbands wouldn't have run away after failing to force a divorce, would they? Where are they? After hesitating for a moment, she still asks. "They should have gone mining." Timothy glances at the labor reform schedule posted by the interstellar prison on the living room wall. "Has my lady forgotten we have labor reform tasks every month?" Cindy's eyes widen instantly as fragmented memories flow into her mind like a stream. During her 100-year exile to this wasteland, besides the simple house with a dungeon provided by the interstellar prison, all other supplies must be obtained through her and her husband's labor. Prisoners must participate in certain labor reform activities monthly and submit valuable materials of a certain quantity. Only after converting these into points can they exchange for daily necessities. Different stages require different valuable materials to be submitted. After absorbing the new plot, Cindy suddenly remembers the original soul's 2 tragic endings from the book. The 5 husbands propose divorce to the original soul. Not only does she refuse, but she becomes even more demanding and abusive, even secretly drugging their nutrition drinks. Eventually, at the hands of 5 husbands whose mental seas are on the verge of collapse and who have fallen to madness, the original soul dies miserably. In another ending, the original soul agrees to the divorce, believing she can survive alone on this desolate and dangerous planet. But the day after her husbands leave, a puppet corpse legion, strongly attracted by female pheromones, surges into her house like a raging tide. In the end, not even bone fragments remain. Regardless of which ending, calculating from the current timeline, death is imminent. My lady has not only changed personality completely these past 2 days, becoming like a different person, but also seems to have amnesia. "You won't forget me someday too, will you?" Timothy looks at her meaningfully. Cindy shakes her head like a rattle drum while reaching out to gently embrace his waist. "No, of course not." A complex meaning flashes in the man's eyes as he playfully taps her nose. "At least you have some conscience." He then removes the ring from his hand and carefully places it on her ring finger. "My personal space ring has more storage than your previous one. Wear it for now and put all the crystal cores they gave you inside. Don't take it off without my permission." "Okay." Cindy's expression is sweet as she nods obediently. "Sister, are you home?" A gentle, coquettish girl's voice suddenly comes from outside the door. Timothy opens the door. Cindy's gaze freezes slightly. Outside stands a girl with a delicate and weak demeanor, carefully supported by a male with golden snake scales covering his hands. Behind her stand 7 or 8 tall wolf-dog warriors in standard interstellar uniforms. Cindy immediately recognizes this girl who looks 80% similar to her. It's the book's female protagonist, fake heiress Wendy, who was mistakenly raised by her mother for 5 years and naturally possesses B-rank mental power. Seeing Cindy appear with Timothy close behind her, Wendy's eyes suddenly brighten, her voice becoming more joyful and tender. "So good! I finally found you, sister." The 8 wolf-dog warriors behind her look startled when their eyes meet Timothy, quickly bowing in unison. Timothy, standing tall behind Cindy, merely nods slightly without speaking. Cindy focuses entirely on Wendy's face, which is so similar to her own plastic surgery face, not noticing these details. After a brief moment of contemplation, she curves her lips into a mocking arc. "My mother's belly only crawled out me. Where does this supposed sister come from? Even if there was one, she'd probably be dead in some corner by now." While speaking, information about Wendy suddenly floods her mind, though not comprehensively. She only knows Wendy is the book's female protagonist who, under the fake heiress identity, makes a comeback and thrives. After experiencing a mysterious encounter, she awakens extremely rare SS rank mental power. But what this special encounter was, Cindy's absorbed plot only mentions it briefly without details. Then comes adult Wendy suddenly at odds with the original soul. Also, after the original soul was found at age 5, her mother didn't send away mistakenly raised Wendy but continued, raising her as an adopted daughter on Prosperity Planet 3. Young Wendy was obedient and lovely, with no presence before the original soul. However, after awakening B-rank mental power at 18, she privately sought interstellar cosmetic surgery, making herself 80% similar to Cindy's appearance. Later, for unknown reasons, after seeing Wendy's plastic surgery face, the original soul completely broke down and exploded on the spot. Afterward, news of the original soul's F-rank mental power test results and her arrogant, domineering, vicious behavior spread across the Star Network overnight, causing this highly watched unmarried woman to instantly become notorious and fall to rock bottom. More surprisingly, after being cyberbullied by interstellar citizens, the original soul actually colluded with dark forces to ransack Prosperity Planet and set it on fire. Even more puzzling was that only Cindy and Wendy survived the entire planet. Wendy was acquitted due to an alibi, while Cindy became a serious criminal despised by the entire interstellar community, exiled to the wasteland for 100 years. Later, Wendy publicly declared that to repay the kindness of the family's upbringing, she would voluntarily apply to participate in exile to atone for Cindy's sins. In an interstellar interview, she tearfully said, "Though this wasteland is extremely dangerous, it's precisely because of this danger that the warriors stationed here need female comfort even more." Being only 19 with B-rank mental power, everyone felt sorry for her situation while admiring her benevolent kindness. With public support, young Wendy became one of the 12 deputy lords of Darkstar. Though the content isn't extensive, Cindy, who read various novels in her previous life, quickly detects the suspicious elements. But now isn't the time for confrontation and verification. "Sister, how can you say that about your sister?" Wendy isn't surprised by Cindy's harsh words but feels secretly pleased instead. Whether it's the parents, status, wealth, or 5 handsome husbands that Cindy once had, she wants to take them all away. Thinking this, Wendy's body trembles slightly as she delicately leans into her companion Liam's embrace. "Cindy, do you think everyone is as heartless as you? Do you know how hard Wendy worked to earn points quickly so she could see you and buy you supplies? Do you know how much mental power she exhausted conditioning warriors teetering on the edge of rampage?" Liam's face instantly shows anger as he scolds loudly. Cindy glances at him indifferently and goes completely berserk on the spot. "You're incapable of letting your wife enjoy a comfortable life, instead making her work publicly to earn points. What kind of partner are you? If you're not going to use your brain or speak like a human being, donate it to interstellar recycling, instead of showing off here embarrassing yourself. As for this pretentious thing, don't appear in front of me anymore. Since the original Soul's character was already a vicious female supporting character, there's no need to act in front of them. As for how to explain to Timothy later, she'll deal with that then." Wendy shows no anger at this rebuke, still maintaining her caring sisterly appearance, but actually, her gaze occasionally drifts behind Cindy, where no one can detect. A subtle green tea-scented pheromone quietly drifts toward Timothy's nostrils. Cindy frowns, her gaze lingering on Wendy with interest. So, the culprit who caused Blake to suddenly lose control and try to strangle her was actually her! In the interstellar beast world, both female and male beast people emit pheromones, though mostly during mating and reproduction periods. Each female and beast person has different pheromone scents, almost all related to flowers, grass, and trees. But that pheromone strand disappears without a trace the moment it approaches Timothy. Cindy turns to look at the man behind her, but his expression remains calm as if he noticed nothing. "My patience is limited. Take your useless waste of a man and all this junk and get lost." Cindy coldly throws out this statement, pulling Timothy away. Timothy says nothing, following behind her like a loyal guard. With a bang, the door slams shut. Cindy instantly switches to her vulnerable state, grabbing Timothy's hand. "Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't control myself when I see her." Cindy's eyes moisten as her face fills with regret. "Actually, I don't want to be so fierce, but there's this anger in my heart. Could my bipolar disorder be acting up again? Please don't ignore me like before, okay?" Timothy looks at her meaningfully. "How could that be? I believe you won't have episodes anymore." While speaking, Shadow and the others suddenly unlock and enter. All 3 look exhausted, but fortunately their rampage levels show no changes. Cindy looks at the 3 men. Blake is nowhere to be seen behind them. "Where's Blake? Why didn't he come back with you?" Hearing this, Shadow suddenly sits up from the sofa, his face full of mockery. "Really ruthless and cold-hearted. The person is half dead and you still want him working to earn points?" Timothy beside her squeezes Cindy's hand. "Did I remember wrong? He's been in the dungeon and never came out?" Cindy immediately becomes anxious. "Let's go check on him quickly." Though Blake's mental riot was suppressed, it's actually not stable. She can't lose any of her 5 husbands. Going down the steps, damp coldness mixed with a moldy smell hits them. Cindy can't help but cover her nose and mouth. Timothy walks ahead and turns on the light. Seeing the scene before them, Cindy freezes in shock. Blake's massive frame sits on a blood-stained electric torture chair. His head hangs low, fresh bloody wounds are shocking to see. Cindy's gaze falls on the blood-covered whip clutched in Blake's hand. Tears Tears uncontrollably stream from her eyes. Luna and Cecil, following behind her, are equally stunned seeing this scene. They knew Blake requested punishment, but never imagined he would use such cruel methods on himself. Cindy tremblingly reaches out to gently probe Blake's mental sea. Timothy, your healing ability should have recovered. Help me save him! Timothy doesn't move, but looks at her thoughtfully. He intended to kill you. Now he's willingly punishing himself. Are you sure you want to do this? Cindy nods firmly while looking at those torture devices. I'm so scared of these things. Can you help me destroy them all? She shrinks into Timothy's arms like a frightened deer again. Of course. The air here isn't good. Let's go back to the room first. Timothy lifts Cindy and heads upstairs. Seeing this, Luna and Cecil quickly help Blake up and follow. Back in the living room, Timothy's hands glow with soft light enveloping Blake. Blake's wounds begin healing at a visibly slow pace. Cindy watches with slight shock, remembering Timothy's scars. Did your healing ability upgrade? Timothy shakes his head. My lady used to enjoy punishing us and couldn't stand seeing us completely unharmed, so I deliberately kept those scars. He pauses slightly, showing a gentle smile. But now you're no longer the you of the past, so I don't need to keep them anymore. Luna looks at Cindy suspiciously, unable to contain his curiosity. She's not the her of the past? What does that mean? Earth philosophy? Timothy looks at Cindy with tenderness. Haven't you noticed my lady has been completely different from before these past 2 days? If it were the former my lady, seeing Blake self-harm and seriously injured would only excite her. She might even step forward and add a whip strike, not react like this. After hearing this, Cecil purses his lips. If I remember correctly, my lady has only had 3 periods of such stable emotions since becoming an adult. First was marriage registration, second was exiled to the wasteland, and third is now. Let's hope she doesn't suddenly have a bipolar episode again. He looks at Cindy, who's now watching Blake with worried eyes, and can't help but hang his head with a deep sigh. In 5,000 years of interstellar history, the luckiest and unluckiest male beast men are probably these 5. A year ago, there were no fewer than 1,000 males with 100% genetic compatibility with Cindy across the interstellar community. After strict screening, only these 5 were fortunate enough to qualify for marriage. But unexpectedly, the day after completing marriage registration with Cindy, Prosperity Planet suffered a catastrophic disaster. They hadn't even had time to set foot on Prosperity Planet with their generous dowries and the expectations and hopes of their respective backing forces when they were directly sentenced by the Interstellar Military Court to have all assets frozen and be exiled with Cindy for 100 years. Cecil, who had been sent to Prosperity Planet as a child husband since childhood, feels particularly wronged. Blake, you're awake! Cindy's voice pulls Cecil's thoughts back. Timothy vigilantly blocks in front of Cindy. Blake looks at Cindy, his eyes full of regret. My lady, I once wanted to divorce you, even wanted to kill you, but that night I really wasn't in control. I smelled a female green tea-scented pheromone. Hearing this, Cecil's fur instantly bristles. Within a 10-mile radius, it's completely desolate. At night, puppet corpses appear from time to time, so no one would come out. Where did this suddenly appearing female come from? Why did she target you specifically? Blake shakes his head helplessly, his expression full of guilt. I don't understand either, but it's true that my momentary impulse hurt my lady. Timothy remains calm. Luna and Cecil look completely astonished. Cindy's complete personality change after awakening from unconsciousness 3 days ago was shocking enough, but who would have thought Blake also seems like a different person? Luna stares at Blake gravely. Blake, my lady has already conditioned your mental sea, which means she no longer holds grudges about what happened before. You really don't need to fabricate such lies. Cindy looks at Blake with heartache. He's not lying. I also smelled that pheromone, and I know who she is, but I can't tell you right now. A flash of blood-red killing intent appears in Blake's orange pupils. Why won't you tell me? Timothy holds Blake down and explains. If she can use pheromones to stimulate your mental sea once, she can do it a second time. If you really want revenge, wait until your abilities improve. Otherwise, you're just going to your death. Hearing this, Cecil and Luna exchange glances, full of confusion. They always feel like Timothy knows many things. Blake clenches his fists, but ultimately chooses silence. Before they knew it, afternoon arrives. Cindy is still shaken by Blake and Shadow's behavior, so she decides to go mining with Timothy. Looking around at the empty surroundings, she suddenly remembers something. I remember there were hundreds of puppet corpses last night. How come there's no trace of them now? Timothy stops in his tracks and looks at her meaningfully. Lady, have you lost your memory again? Cindy's heart skips a beat, and she quickly catches on. Oh yes, I think so. She then deliberately covers her head, pretending to be in pain. Timothy looks at her with indulgent affection, shaking his head helplessly. You don't need to act so seriously. Though thinking this, he still pulls her into his embrace. A stream of pale golden light flows from his palm. Your body is a bit weak right now. Remember to absorb those crystal cores when we get back tonight. Then he changes the topic. About those puppet corpses, lady. Do you really not remember anything? Cindy's eyes are clear as she shakes her head. They felt a lot like zombies. But why are they called puppet corpses? Timothy reaches out to ruffle her hair. Because zombies cannot be controlled. while puppet corpses can be manipulated by dark beastmen. Dark beastmen? Cindy vaguely remembers hearing this term before, but she didn't pay much attention at the time. Timothy takes out a cushion, sits down, and patiently explains. Male beastmen in the interstellar beast world not only awaken abilities at 18, but also simultaneously differentiate into light beastmen and dark beastmen. Areas where dark beastmen use their abilities generally lead to dark chaos. Areas where light beastmen use their abilities tend toward order and purification of all evil. So light beastmen have always been committed to maintaining the existing world rules and order. Dark beastmen, like the Zerg, are common enemies of all light beastmen. Puppet corpses are formed when mutant beasts undergo a second mutation after death. Dark beastmen naturally have the ability to control puppet corpses. After puppet corpses die, they're all recalled by the dark beastmen. When the time is right, they'll resurrect and make a comeback. Cindy's lips part slightly. She feels like she's listening to a fairy tale that seems so distant from her. Perhaps it's because this barren planet she's been exiled to has such primitive and original terrain. But now she finally understands why the original soul was arrested by the interstellar military court after the catastrophic disaster on the Prosperity Star. This is somewhat like treason in the original world. However, how could the original soul, a barely adult F-grade mental power waste, possibly unite with dark beastmen to destroy an entire planet? This sounds absolutely incredible. Didn't anyone in the interstellar military court suspect this? Cindy feels her thoughts are wandering too far, so she quickly shakes her head to refocus. Since male beastmen are divided into light beastmen and dark beastmen, what about females? Timothy glances at her. There's only one dark woman in the entire galaxy. Legend says her mental power is extremely rare S grade, and she can awaken abilities, just like male beastmen. Her ability is also a rare 10th tier. Without exaggeration, the dark woman alone possesses the power to destroy the galaxy. Cindy is stunned. That powerful? Where is she now? Is she a bad person? Although Cindy also possesses both mental power and abilities, her abilities are golden fingers from crossing over, different from the Dark Woman's self-awakened powers. Regarding whether the Dark Woman is good or evil, Timothy doesn't take a clear stance. Historically, there will only be one Dark Woman. According to galactic calculations, she should appear soon, and Dark Beastmen spend their lives seeking to follow the Dark Woman, remaining loyal to her for life, following her lead in everything. Cindy reaches up to steady her nearly dropping jaw. Doesn't this mean all Dark Beastmen would be her harem? Timothy is amused by her words and flicks her forehead. What, are you envious? Cindy doesn't answer but makes a throat-slitting gesture. In that case, wouldn't the light beastmen try to eliminate her while the Dark Woman is still young? After all, capture the leader first. Timothy shakes his head. The Dark Woman isn't born as the Dark Woman. She's a woman with the most powerful S grade mental power who, after experiencing despair and hellish pain, breaks through and differentiates through some kind of opportunity. Cindy suddenly remembers the plot about Wendy obtaining some opportunity to become a S grade woman. What exactly was that? Timothy is very surprised to hear this. Lady, do you truly remember nothing? Yes? Cindy looks completely innocent. Timothy's eyes flash with something unusual. Then he reaches out to pat her head. It seems Lady has lost quite a lot of memories, but precisely because of this memory loss, the current lady is much more adorable than before. The man finishes speaking and cups her chin, leaning down for a gentle kiss. Cindy bounces out of his arms like a startled rabbit. We still need to go mining. Scaredy cat. Timothy looks at her indulgently, reaching out to tap her nose. Then he uses a crystal core to draw a circle on the ground. Stay within the circle and don't come out. It can block the dust for you. Then he turns and walks deeper into the mine. Cindy's gaze follows his figure closely, very curious to see how this precious and elegant man mines. She watches him wave his hand forcefully in the air, and a small excavation robot whooshes out from his space. The whole process takes less than 10 minutes. Timothy casually brushes off non-existent dust and strides over to her side. After collecting the materials, he habitually crooks his arm and skillfully lifts Cindy up. Cindy looks guilty, her voice as small as a mosquito's hum. I'm sorry. Timothy looks down at her for a moment. Without asking why she's saying this, he just reaches out to gently ruffle her hair. It's not your fault. Cindy has a hesitant look, like she wants to say something but stops herself. She originally didn't want to ask more foolish questions, but keeping it bottled up inside feels uncomfortable. Timothy takes the initiative to speak. Does Lady have something she wants to ask? Caught in her thoughts, Cindy presses her lips together and shakes her head in denial. Lady has amnesia, so having questions is normal. Ask whatever you want to ask. I promise not to laugh at you this time. Timothy stops walking and looks down at her with indulgent eyes. After thinking it over, Cindy finally speaks up. Why do you mine so fast? Shadow and the others went out this morning and haven't returned for ages. They're not digging with their hands, are they? Timothy chuckles. They use offensive abilities to directly destroy ore. I use spatial abilities to detect ore hearts, so I'm faster. But they're not slow either. Cindy suddenly understands. So they're actually deliberately slacking off outside? Pretty much. Timothy speaks bluntly. Although we're criminals who've been exiled on this dark star, every house with a woman living in it is not just a place that provides shelter from wind and rain for us husbands. It's a haven where we can find brief relaxation after physical and mental exhaustion. Home gives us a sense of belonging. After saying this, he gazes into the distance and changes the subject. But for other males, that house issued by the interstellar prison is truly a prison filled with oppressive atmosphere. It's a place they dream of escaping from. What about you? Cindy slowly loosens her arms from around Timothy's neck. Her clear, deer-like eyes gaze unblinkingly at the man with deep, handsome features before her. Is this home also a cage for you? Timothy suddenly stops in his tracks, a barely perceptible smile slowly spreading across his lips. Kiss me, and I'll tell you. Cindy's cheeks instantly flush red. She pouts in dissatisfaction, but eventually reaches out to steady his shoulders and slowly leans in. She originally intended just a light peck, but just as her lips are about to touch his, the man quickly extends his hand and firmly cups the back of her head. The two walk while lost in a passionate kiss, until they reach near their house, when Timothy reluctantly stops. I wanted to escape before, but not anymore. With these words, he carries her toward the house. In the living room, Luna, Blake, and Cecil are sitting together around what looks like a small sand table model. Shadow sits alone in a corner, concentrating on fiddling with a soft whip lined with poisonous barbs. Hearing footsteps, all four look up simultaneously. Timothy casually glances at the four men in the room before setting down the girl in his arms. Facing everyone's gaze, Cindy smiles and nods, then, like an overly startled rabbit, stumbles upstairs in her escape. Shadow's ice-blue eyes flash with barely noticeable sourness and jealousy. Luna stares blankly at the red lipstick mark remaining on Timothy's face. Lady didn't even look at me once. Cecil looks dejected, hanging his head and starting to pluck the beautiful peacock feathers he deliberately ruffled. Blake sounds equally dejected. She didn't look at me either. She must still be angry with me. Luna's eyes flash with suspicion. He looks up toward the staircase, then glances toward the bathroom where water sounds are coming from. Lady is indeed different from before, but she seems a bit too clingy to Timothy. Cindy escapes back to her room and locks the door, then enters the bathroom and turns on the tap, letting cold water wash over her hands. It's the cage they dream of escaping from. Cindy arranges her hair, her brow furrowed, looking at herself in the mirror, remembering Timothy's words and falling into silence. In her few fragmented memories, she knows the original soul had a political marriage with her 5 husbands, with no emotional foundation. Due to the marriage law where husbands share responsibility when women commit crimes, they were exiled to this dark star. Not only did everything they once possessed leave them, but their bodies and minds also suffered endless abuse and torture from the original soul day and night. How could such a home be anything but a prison for them? As for Timothy, he hasn't mentioned divorce at all these past 2 days and has been taking good care of her. Cindy understands this isn't because her weak acting skills are that good, but there's no hate without reason in this world, just as there's no love without reason. Whether his feelings are fake or real, she needs him in the short term. Lost in thought, her light brain on her wrist suddenly chimes with a notification. Interstellar Prison will soon open a century welfare mission for Dark Star 1. To celebrate the galaxy entering the galactic era, all serious criminals exiled to Dark Star 1, with exile terms exceeding 90 years, may end their exile 80 years early upon completing this welfare mission. Those who complete the mission exceptionally may receive an additional 5 to 8 years of exile time reduction. The mission will be announced on the 1st of next month. Cindy's eyes brighten as she scans through it. After pondering for a while, she makes a decision. She wants to divorce her 5 husbands. With this thought, she gets up and searches around the room, but after looking for a long time, she can't find any paper or pen. But thinking about how the original soul was a crazy person with bipolar disorder, she can understand this. So she opens her light brain again. Only then does she discover it supports friend chat and calls. Judging from what Timothy reveals in the apps previously seen on the light brain, this interstellar prison-issued light brain most likely monitors all their chats and communications. But as long as she doesn't say anything against prison management rules, she doesn't need to worry too much. She opens the chat window and starts organizing a pile of divorce clauses like a memo. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. Cindy hesitates before slowly going to open it. Timothy is wearing a white bathrobe, radiating alluring charm. The white silk bathrobe hangs loosely on his body, displaying his supermodel-like physique. A few damp golden strands hang lazily on his forehead. His broad shoulders, lean waist, firm abs, and straight, long legs make Cindy unable to look away. Timothy keenly catches her gaze. What is Lady thinking about? Nothing. Cindy's cheeks burn as she hurriedly looks away. I'm just a bit hungry. The nutrient solution tastes good and is filling, but having grown accustomed to Earth's cuisine, she's feeling a bit peckish now. Timothy's lips curve slightly upward, deliberately misinterpreting her meaning. Hungry? Then I can. Cindy feels herself being lifted and finds herself on the sofa. Her heartbeat suddenly accelerates, and some steamy scenes uncontrollably flash through her mind, making her whole body shudder. She had originally planned planned to find an excuse to keep him tonight and then upgrade her daughter Flower, but now she thinks better of it. Being struck by lightning to death in her past life was ridiculous enough. If she died a different way, Cindy shudders again. Timothy's breath draws near. He grinds his canine teeth slightly, his warm voice carrying seduction. What style of dishes would lady like? Cindy is about to struggle and escape when her stomach very uncooperatively growls. Timothy's hand, which was pretending to unbutton her clothes, suddenly stops. A triumphant smile curves his lips as he reaches out to pull her up. Come on, let's go downstairs for dinner. This huge change in attitude before and after makes Cindy instantly realize that all his ambiguous words and actions were deliberately teasing her. The girl is both shy and annoyed, glaring at him like a bristling kitten. Timothy acts as if nothing happened, seriously tying his bathrobe, then taking her hand. Lady has become even more adorable. Bad person, Cindy pouts, muttering under her breath. Timothy just smiles without speaking, indulgently running his finger along her nose bridge. The interstellar prison just posted a welfare mission on the light brain. Did Lady see it? Cindy nods. Timothy looks down at her, a barely noticeable scrutinizing look flashing in his eyes. What does Lady think about it? I haven't thought it through yet. Cindy actually has plans already, but she'd rather speak in front of everyone. But mentioning exile reminds her of a question. Since criminals exiled to Darkstar have such short daily working hours, why not combine the tasks to shorten the sentence? Timothy's raised foot suddenly stops. His gentle voice takes on a hint of coldness. For serious criminals exiled to barren planets, crushing their minds is much more interesting than simply torturing their bodies. Cindy feels a chill in her heart. The two walk hand in hand to the living room. The gazes of several men immediately shoot over. All four maintain expressionless faces, but complex emotions flash in their eyes. Shadow looks up and coldly glances at them, his voice full of mockery. Oh, finally decided to use your legs? Timothy's face darkens, his tone stern. Shadow, watch your language. My language? What language? Shadow stands up, undercurrent surging in his eyes. Timothy, put away your arrogance. This isn't the Empire, and this isn't your— Before he can finish, Timothy sharply interrupts. Enough! This tense atmosphere stuns Cindy. She's never seen Timothy this angry. Timothy beside her radiates chilling pressure, his oppressive gaze locked deadly on Shadow. Shadow is also provoked to anger, ice-blue serpent scales appearing on his face and the back of his hands. He bites his venomous fangs, his eyes full of vicious malice. Timothy, Lady isn't your lady alone. Timothy raises an eyebrow and looks at him sideways, his voice cold and authoritative. Lady certainly isn't mine alone, but who she wants to be with is her freedom. Looking at the two men facing off, Cindy feels helpless inside, but in everyone's eyes, her watery eyes instantly turn red, guilt and a crying tone on her pale face. Don't fight, it's all my fault, it's all my fault. Timothy immediately restrains his anger, switching to a gentle smile. It's not your fault, this makes it worse. Cindy simply starts crying with a wah. Luna and Blake stand frozen in place, not knowing what to do. Seeing this, Cecil panics so much his peacock feathers stand on end. He rushes to Cindy in a few steps, offering his 7-colored spirit feather fan like a treasure. Lady, don't cry. You'll definitely like this fan. I'm giving it to you. That 7-colored spirit feather fan is actually his ability artifact, but being wealthy in the past, he decorated it with many rare treasures from across the galaxy. When girls are unhappy, give them gifts. The prettier and more precious the gift, the more girls like it. This is what his father, who was his mother's side husband, secretly told him. Cindy pulls on Timothy's bathrobe sleeve to wipe her face, takes the fan to look at it, then hands it back. This is your artifact. I can't take it. Don't worry. I won't cry anymore. Seeing Cindy's bright smile, Cecil also relaxes. Then I'll definitely give you something even more exquisite in the future. Timothy's gaze falls on Cecil's face, a barely noticeable wariness flashing in his eyes. Shadow suddenly snorts coldly. Timothy, don't rely on Lady liking you. I advise you not to get too deep into character. Like? Timothy looks down at the sniffling Cindy beside him, an inexplicable sourness rising in his heart. He just wants to survive in this difficult situation. Like? He doesn't like anyone. Timothy ignores Shadow's provocative words. He suppresses the strange emotions in his heart, his fingertips gently brushing across Cindy's cheek, wiping away her remaining tears, then naturally takes the girl's hand. The two walk side by side toward the kitchen. Timothy stops at the doorway, turns to look at the several people silently watching their backs in the living room. Tomorrow I'll take Lady to the interstellar prison town to buy some daily necessities. The other four all show shocked expressions. Darkstar, as the most special and dangerous S-class barren planet in the galaxy, holds exiled prisoners from wealthy and noble backgrounds, including some extremely evil individuals with powerful abilities and mental power. The interstellar prison town is one of the few small community centers on Darkstar, open to both prison administrators and prisoners. Its danger level is no less than living alone in the wilderness and encountering puppet corpse armies. Not to mention, Timothy actually wants to bring a charming woman there, which is like throwing fresh, tender meat into a pack of wolves and tigers. Although there are duty soldiers and warning robots in the town, they mainly protect the safety of town administrators and prevent riots. For exiled prisoners, as long as it doesn't involve violating prison management order, they basically won't intervene. Though Timothy and the the others have ability strength far exceeding other first-tier male beastmen. There are still many mid- and high-tier ability users among those exiled to this barren planet, not to mention dark beastmen hidden among light beastmen. Low-tier male beastmen can't smell women's pheromones, but mid- to high-tier ability users are like having dog noses, able to clearly detect the special pheromone scent unique to females. This is precisely why everyone is so shocked to hear Timothy wants to bring Cindy to the interstellar prison town. But they all tacitly understand Timothy's purpose in telling them this. Thinking of this, Blake clenches his fists tightly. I'm going with you. Cecil isn't to be outdone. I'm going to... Luna nods along. I'll come too. Usually these men aren't exactly united internally, but once it involves external threats, the instinct to protect females is carved into their bones. After the three speak, they all look toward Shadow. After all, in terms of combat power, he's the strongest among them. Shadow covers his mouth and yawns, looking lazy and impatient. Really? In the distance, the girl's expectant gaze falls on him. The words bunch of weaklings get stuck in his throat. Really boring. I want to sleep. If you don't want to die halfway, wake me when we're leaving. Everyone looks at the arrogant Shadow with disdain. But Cindy suddenly calls out to him carefully. Shadow, I have something I want to discuss with everyone? Timothy raises an eyebrow slightly, his gaze casually sweeping across her face. Didn't Lady say she was hungry? Timothy speaks while opening the refrigerator to take out a bottle of mixed vegetable and fruit nutrient solution. Whatever you want to say, eat first. But Cindy doesn't speak, just looks at Shadow with pitiful eyes. The latter's eyes dodge as he strides over and jumps back onto the sofa to rest. Eat quickly. I don't want to wait too long. After drinking the nutrient solution, Cindy returns to the living room with a cup of hot water Timothy poured for her. Cecil, Luna, and Blake sit upright with serious expressions. Shadow has his hands behind his head, chewing on some old wild grass from who knows where, staring straight at the ceiling. Lady, what do you want to tell us? Timothy sits down beside her, holding her hand. Cindy takes a sip of water, her lips moving slightly. Before I say it, I want to ask everyone a question first. Cindy takes a deep breath, as if making a huge decision. Do you all want to divorce me? As soon as the question comes out, the living room instantly becomes so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Cecil, Luna, and Blake look at each other, their eyes full of shock and confusion. Shadow, who was originally lying there chewing grass, suddenly sits up, looking at her suspiciously with probing light in his eyes. Timothy's eyes flash with barely noticeable confusion, his gaze fixed intently on the girl. Luna is first to break the silence. Does Lady want to hear the truth? Cindy nods. Yes, of course. Luna hesitates for a moment. Yes, I know I wronged everyone before, but I've decided to change for the better now. Do you still want to divorce me? Cindy's voice becomes increasingly gentle, with a hint of sobbing. Her eyes are already red and her nose is also reddened. She looks so fragile and helpless that it makes people want to pity her. This time, Luna doesn't answer immediately. He thinks for 2 seconds before slowly speaking. I still do. With that, he takes out a divorce agreement from his space ring, the very one he prepared to give Cindy 3 days ago. Cecil and Blake are startled, their faces showing surprise and conflict. Shadow looks at Cindy theatrically, his eyes full of amusement. Timothy remains composed, his gaze still fixed on her face. Okay. Cindy's lips tremble slightly as she reaches out to take his divorce agreement. Blake's heart is conflicted, remembering his past treatment of Cindy. Guilt washes over him like a tide. After much hesitation, he finally speaks. Lady, I want to divorce too. Cecil remains silent for a long time, feeling somewhat bitter inside. He can see that the recovered lady likes Timothy. If he continues staying by her side, he probably won't even qualify to humble himself. Thinking this, Cecil's heart clenches painfully as he slowly hands over a divorce agreement. Cindy pretends to sigh, her face showing disappointment as she takes it. She doesn't want to look at Shadow, but she has to. The other party's ice blue eyes flash with amusement. I want a divorce too. Though I gave you my first kiss, you don't need to take responsibility. An A4 paper floats lightly in front of Cindy. Cindy clenches her fists, forcibly suppressing her inner anger as she looks at Timothy, who's closest to her. What about you? Timothy's lips curve slightly as he adjusts his gold-rimmed glasses, his gaze locked tightly on her as if wanting to see all her thoughts. Unfortunately, the girl's face shows grievance, but her heart is calm as water, as if she's made some unshakable decision. Cindy doesn't know her thoughts are being read. She speaks again. Do you want a divorce too? Timothy hands over a paper and smiles without speaking. Everyone is astonished, their gaze is moving between him and Cindy. Shadow sharply glances at the paper he handed over and snorts coldly. I really didn't know that the past me could bring you all such great harm. Cindy looks full of regret and self-blame, seeing that all her husbands want a divorce. I originally thought that as long as I changed, I could make you all a little happier, a little more joyful. Cindy begins to sob, tears sliding down her cheeks. But I didn't expect this was all just my wishful thinking. Cindy wipes her tears and takes a deep breath, stacking the papers together. Just as she's about to tear them all up at once, she notices the content of the paper Timothy handed her. Marriage agreement. During the marriage, I voluntarily joined the galaxy's highest level notarization contract and promise the following with my life. 1. In all marital matters, I will respect Lady in everything and obey her every word. 2. In special circumstances, follow Article 1. 3. Agreement term, Permanent. Agreement party, Timothy. Agreement recipient, Cindy. These 3 clauses are the minimum requirements for marriage and divorce agreements according to galactic marriage law. Cindy looks up at Timothy, tears streaming down again. The next second, she wipes her tears and carefully puts this agreement into her space ring, then tears up the remaining divorce agreements with a rip. "Lady!" the remaining 3 men exclaim, but there's a hint of relief hidden in their voices. Each reaches out wanting to stop her, but they all pretend to stop halfway. Shadow doesn't understand what she's trying to do, looking at her meaningfully as he sits up straight, his gaze locked on her. "I will divorce everyone, but not now." Cindy raises her face, her gaze more determined. "You all saw the welfare mission the interstellar prison issued, right? This mission is definitely dangerous, but it will be announced by next month's 1st at the latest. Whatever the content, I want to take it on." She pauses, her gaze gently sweeping over everyone. "Rather than spending 100 years on this barren planet in a daze, constantly harassed by puppet corpses, we might as well take a gamble. Interstellar beastmen have an average lifespan of over 200 years. Even without considering lifespan extension from ability and mental power upgrades, being exiled for 100 years means half our lives are over. After 100 years, can people who've been on this primitive, barbaric planet for so long still adapt to the high-tech, civilized galactic life?" Changing her tone, Cindy's gaze sweeps over everyone again. "Of course, I know you can choose to divorce immediately, but after divorce, can you guarantee you'll live better than on this barren planet?" Everyone hearing this is stunned. Cindy's words are like a sharp dagger stabbing straight into their hearts. Hot-tempered Blake is first to stand up. "I think Lady's analysis makes sense. If Lady wants to take on the mission, I'm willing to join." His original life plan was to become a galactic commander, pilot warships for national glory, and venture into the starry seas. But the sudden 100-year sentence shattered all his dreams. Moreover, in the interstellar beast world, divorced men are like withered grass and fallen leaves, not only facing scorn and discrimination from those around them, but also never having the chance to get formal work again. Even with distinguished family backgrounds and lifelong financial security, without women to help organize their mental power, they'll eventually die early from mental sea riots. Cecil remains silent for a moment, then also raises his hand. "I'm willing to join too." He doesn't want to return after a 100-year sentence and spend his life as a good-for-nothing living off others under the title of Prosperity Star's richest son. Luna doesn't immediately take a stance, looking at Cindy meaningfully. Lady has laid so much groundwork, talking about divorce and taking on missions. "Forgive my stupidity, but what exactly do you want to tell us?" Cindy glances at him. Among her 5 husbands, Blake and Cecil are indeed the most simple-minded, while Shadow and Timothy are the most scheming. She didn't expect to overlook Luna. Timothy remains calm as ever, as if he can calmly accept whatever Cindy says. Having come this far, Cindy feels there's no need to beat around the bush anymore. "We can sign a new divorce agreement. These are some clauses I just organized. Take a look." With that, she skillfully opens her light brain and sends the organized divorce clauses to everyone. This divorce agreement's duration matches the validity period of the interstellar prison welfare mission. Cindy clears her throat. "During this period, we have a common goal, to do everything possible to complete the welfare mission. Of course, if the welfare mission is certain death, I definitely won't choose it. As long as there's a glimmer of hope, I'll fight for it. During this time, you'll be responsible for protecting my safety, and I'll be responsible for organizing your mental power." As soon as she finishes speaking, several husbands look up simultaneously. "If we're lucky, perhaps we can all improve together. After all, only when abilities and mental power improve can we have a greater chance of completing the mission." Speaking of this, Cindy's ears turn red. The way for a lady and husbands to improve together, besides absorbing crystal cores, is through intimate relationships. Cindy continues somewhat reluctantly. "Once the agreement period ends, we'll divorce immediately as agreed. I won't stop any of you from leaving then." After finishing, Cindy secretly breathes a sigh of relief. Regardless of whether they can ultimately complete the mission, everyone's level can be improved. Once they have self-protection abilities, why should they be bound by a marriage contract? After all, in this interstellar beast world where the male-to-female ratio is 1 million, 3-legged toads are hard to find, but 2-legged male beastmen are abundant. She's figured it out, but she has no idea that after hearing this, her several husbands feel like they've knocked over a 5-flavor bottle, feeling awful. Especially Timothy, who's been composed all along, looks at her with increasingly dark eyes. "Lady, I have no problem with this agreement, but I'm curious why your mental power suddenly." Cecil voices the suspicion that's been weighing on everyone's minds. Cindy's heart tightens, but her face remains unchanged as she plays dumb, trying to muddle through. Actually, I'm not clear either. Maybe it's heaven's favor." Timothy speaks gravely after hearing this. "The specifics don't matter. What's important is whether this will affect Lady's health. Also, her ability to enter mental seas and reduce mental riots must never get out." Everyone nods. The highest mental power level among women on Dark Star is only B grade, and they're few and far between. If other administrators or male beastmen knew Cindy could reach B grade mental power level, they'd never have peace. Additionally, the number of husbands a woman has is related to her mental power level. The higher the mental power level, the more husbands she can have. They don't want anyone anyone else joining their already crowded household of 6. Cecil suddenly asks timidly, "Lady, about intimate relationships during the agreement period." As soon as he speaks, 4 gazes shoot toward him, 2 of them sharp as knives. Cecil feels a chill on his back and quickly explains, "I'm asking for everyone. Among the 5 husbands, 18-year-old Cecil is the youngest and has the lowest status among the distinguished backgrounds." With such humble tone, the other 4 can't say much more, instead looking at Cindy with probing eyes. Cindy's face reddens as she nods lightly. "Intimate relationships, if both parties are willing, of course it's possible." "Lady," Luna asks, "what exactly is our relationship during this marriage period?" Cindy ponders for a second. "We're divorce partners." After finishing, she smiles brightly. "Do you all like this name?" Luna's gaze falls on the girl's face, which radiates faint joy. Remembering how gentle and weak she seemed half an hour ago versus how spirited she is now, he feels puzzled. After a moment of silence, he speaks. "I agree to sign." Cindy looks toward Shadow. "What about you?" "I'm sleepy. We'll talk tomorrow." Shadow doesn't care how ugly Cindy's expression becomes and directly transforms into a snake, coiling on the sofa. This sudden transformation frightens snake-phobic Cindy, making her face pale with terror. She takes a deep breath, forcibly suppressing her inner fear, and looks at Timothy. "What about you?" Timothy just curves his lips meaningfully. "Sign mine, and I'll sign yours." Cecil suddenly looks dejected, muttering quietly, "Lady, have you found someone new and don't want me anymore?" The others also think her current behavior is a bit off. Just as he's about to ask more, Blake's face suddenly changes, crying out in pain with a distorted expression. "What's wrong with Blake?" Cindy, sitting across from him, screams in alarm. Shadow opens his ice blue eyes and looks at her mockingly. "Oh, has Lady forgotten about the collar she put on him?" Among the 5 husbands, Blake has the most explosive and easily angered temper. The original soul, fearing she might accidentally die at his hands, applied to the interstellar prison for this shock collar. Every week it releases high-voltage currents to torture his mind and body, making Blake's life a living hell. Cindy looks completely bewildered. "How do I remove this thing?" Timothy reminds her. "Use your space ring. I think I saw it in your room drawer. Watch him for me. I'll go look." After saying this, Cindy turns and runs upstairs. Shadow watches her retreating figure and suddenly calls out coldly to Timothy. "So after planning for so long, are they finally starting?" Cecil and Luna look at Shadow with confusion. Timothy doesn't respond. He glances upstairs, his deep eyes darkening. Cindy returns to her room and searches for a long time, finally finding a skull-shaped space ring in the bedside table. Without time to examine it closely, she grabs the ring and hurries downstairs. Several husbands hear footsteps and instinctively turn. The girl's efficient, capable appearance as she hurries is completely different from her previous weak demeanor of getting winded after one step. Cindy inadvertently meets several pairs of eyes full of shock and surprise, and her heart skips. Oh no, she was too absorbed just now. Her carefully maintained weak white flower persona has completely collapsed. But she is, after all, an 18th-tier minor celebrity. This kind of unexpected situation isn't enough to make her lose composure. Thinking of this, the plot of a movie about a protagonist with split personality flashes through Cindy's mind. The next second, as if struck by thunder, she suddenly stops in place, her clear eyes filled with confusion. How are you all here?" She speaks while gently rubbing her head, then seemingly weakly collapses toward Timothy, who quickly steps forward to catch her. Timothy instinctively tightens his arms, steadying her back and holding her in his embrace. "It hurts, my head hurts so much." Along with her low moan, the skull ring in her hand drops with a clear ding. Cecil and Luna are so startled by this sudden change that they immediately stand up. Even Shadow, who usually looks indifferent, quickly rises and strides over. Timothy looks at the girl in his arms, who seems boneless in her fragility. He finds it both amusing and annoying, but still has to put on a worried expression. "Don't all crowd around. Let me heal Lady first." With that, he picks up Cindy and sits on the sofa, streams of pale golden light gradually seeping into her forehead. Cindy closes her eyes contentedly, fully enjoying the head massage while maintaining a pained expression. Internally, she rapidly considers what lines to say when she wakes up. Cecil watches her with closed eyes, his own eyes reddening with anxiety. Lady's behavior and demeanor suddenly changed just now. She's not having a final burst of energy, is she? Lady must have been stimulated by our divorce talk. She already said she was willing to change, but we still hurt her heart like that. Cecil becomes more self-reproachful, his voice choking up. "Lady, wake up. I'll never divorce you again. I still have so many delicious, beautiful and fun things I haven't shown you." As he speaks, he can't help but step forward, wanting to touch Cindy's face, but Timothy's warning glance stops him halfway. Shadow glances at Cindy, feeling inexplicably irritated. His eyes turn bloodthirsty as he glares at Cecil. Only then does Cecil realize his voice has been disturbing Cindy, so he quickly shuts his mouth. Luna pats his shoulder. "Trust that Timothy can definitely heal Lady." Timothy slowly withdraws his palm. "Let Lady rest quietly and she'll be fine." Just as he's about to get up and carry Cindy back to her room, Shadow quickly extends his hand to block him. Luna also raises his hand to block. "Lady is unconscious right now. You can't just take her away. Regardless of divorce partners, as long as we haven't divorced for even even one day. We're still her husbands. We also have the right to know Lady's safety at all times. Cindy, who's been enjoying Timothy's chest muscles with her eyes closed, becomes annoyed by the sudden argument among her husbands. If this continues, her split personality act might become a real diagnosis. Forget it, she won't act anymore. She slowly opens her eyes, her pitiful, weak gaze flashing with surprise. What is this? Just as she's about to get up from Timothy's arms, the man's large hand gently presses her back down. Lady, don't move yet. What happened just now? Cindy shakily stands up with Timothy's support. Didn't you all want to divorce me? Why are you all surrounding me? Luna steps forward, his gaze fixed on her. Does Lady truly remember nothing? What should I remember? Cindy looks confused. Luna is at a loss for words. He originally wanted to tell Cindy what just happened, but thinking about how they'll divorce once the agreement period ends, he swallows his words. He's suspicious. Could Lady really have split personality? But fortunately, that gentle, weak lady seems to have returned. Just as everyone tacitly chooses silence, Cecil suddenly clenches his fists. Lady, you just said you wanted to sign divorce agreements with us. He then tells her everything that happened. Luna initially looks at him resentfully, but gradually understands Cecil's intention. They really shouldn't hide things from Lady. After hearing everything, Cindy looks shocked. Let me confirm. She covers her head and checks her light brain. Everyone holds their breath, looking at her with eyes full of expectation and anxiety. I don't know why I don't remember, but Cindy presses her lips together, her voice gentle. I feel this suggestion is quite good. It gives everyone a win-win opportunity to shorten our sentences, doesn't it? After finishing, she looks at Timothy, her eyes overflowing with tenderness. What do you think? Timothy nods lightly. If Lady thinks it's good, then it's good. Everyone seems to have tacitly accepted the fact that she just experienced a personality split. Oh right, where's Blake? Cindy scans around and sees Blake unconscious on the sofa. She covers her mouth with both hands, eyes wide. Cecil quickly hands over the space ring he picked up. Lady, this skull ring has your genetic lock. Only you can use it. Cindy takes it, gets up, and walks to Blake. She places the skull part of the ring against the collar's indentation. With a click, the collar opens. She carefully removes the collar and gently supports Blake's arm. Blake, wake up! Cecil looks at Timothy in shock, wanting to say something but stopping. Should we examine Lady again? Timothy raises an eyebrow. Examine what? Cecil scratches his head, not knowing how to explain. I feel Lady's emotional fluctuations are too extreme. I'm afraid she might be like before again. He feels Lady seems to have 3 personalities. The previous bipolar crazy one, the strong-willed one who discussed divorce with everyone, and the current gentle, teary one. He's afraid Lady might switch back and forth, and if stimulated, return to that original crazy state. She's fine. Timothy's gaze lingers on her hand, supporting Blake's arm for a moment, then he strides over. Lady, let me take a look. Cindy stands up worriedly, giving him her spot. Don't worry, Lady, he'll be fine. Cecil hands her a tissue. Male beastmen with abilities recover faster than normal people from daily injuries, not to mention with Timothy's healing ability helping. After a while, Blake slowly awakens. He feels his neck loosen and instinctively reaches to touch it. Lady already removed it. Timothy looks at him. Lady? Blake looks at Cindy gratefully. Timothy stands up. All right, it's getting late. Let's rest early. His deep gaze falls on Cindy. Shall I walk you back to your room? Okay. Cindy presses her lips together, but her feet seem glued to the floor. She's a bit conflicted inside. Now that she's reached an agreement with her husbands, she shouldn't have to worry about them causing trouble in the short term, so she actually wants to sleep alone. But thinking about puppet corpses that might suddenly appear, she'd be safer with Timothy nearby. However, this also means another kind of danger. Thinking of what she saw before, her ears turn red. Luna suddenly speaks up. Lady, I have something to say. Cindy looks at him with curved eyes. Since Blake, Cecil, and I have all decided to join your sentence reduction plan, shouldn't you also give us a bit more trust now? Blake and Cecil look at him with confusion. Timothy's eyes darken. Luna is good at hiding, but in front of him, all pretenses are useless. Besides, the other party might as well have the words "who is Lady sleeping with tonight" carved on his face. Of course, Cindy nods. You know we're in a remote wilderness here, with puppet corpses appearing from time to time every night. So I suggest, starting tonight, we take turns arranging someone to guard you. Cindy looks curious. Guard where? Luna looks sincere. In Lady's room, of course. My room? Cindy's face reddens. Cecil catches on, looking expectant. So who does Lady choose? While Cindy hesitates about who to choose, Timothy directly refuses for her. As a man himself, he understands what other men are thinking, especially these hot-blooded men who, like him, have never tasted forbidden fruit. If they spend an entire night alone with a beautiful, soft, and flirtatious woman, he glances down at the girl beside him, whose eyes are clear and innocent, remembering how she couldn't look away when attracted to his abs, and those colorful scenes in his mind. Timothy secretly takes a breath, suppressing the jealousy and frustration in his heart, and takes her hand to escort her back to her room. Shadow also rises from the sofa, raising his arm. His ice blue eyes are covered with frost. Timothy, I told you before, Our Lady doesn't belong to you alone. Luna and Blake also gather around, standing side by side to block the stairway. Timothy's eyes darken. Are you sure you want to stop me? The atmosphere in the living room becomes tense again. Cindy feels speechless inside but must maintain her fragile persona on the surface. She reaches out to pinch Timothy, her voice as thin as a mosquito's. We're all family. Whatever we need to discuss, let's talk it through properly. As her words fall, Timothy's expression becomes even more unpleasant, while the remaining men feel a hint of joy in their hearts. Luna looks at Cindy. Lady, what do you think of my earlier suggestion? You just said we're divorce partners. If that's the case, our lady should treat everyone fairly, rather than exclusively. Luna ultimately can't bring himself to say favoring. Timothy's face looks unpleasant after being contradicted. I don't agree. Cindy reaches out to hold his arm, lifting her small face to look at him gently. You've been watching over me these past few days without proper rest. How about letting one of them take your place tonight? Luna shows goodwill, giving him a way out. Yes, Timothy. Tomorrow we're going to the interstellar prison town. Who knows what dangers we might encounter on this trip. If we accidentally get injured, we'll need your help. Timothy remains unmoved. Cindy can only continue with soft words. How about you rest tonight, and tomorrow night you can guard me again, okay? This time, Timothy finally doesn't refuse directly, instead narrowing his eyes slightly, looking at her like a child. No going back on your word. Cindy feels relieved, her eyebrows curved with a smile, humming in agreement. Lady, which one of us three do you choose? Blake asks with a red face. Shadow snorts coldly, very dissatisfied. Am I not a husband? Blake speaks directly. You didn't agree to sign the agreement Our Lady mentioned. I only said I'd think about it, not that I disagreed. After saying this, he doesn't forget to mock. If you think your brain and ears aren't working well, you can donate them to the Interstellar Recycling Station. Cindy's eyes also light up. So Shadow, do you agree to sign the divorce agreement? Shadow hums indifferently. Hurry up and choose. I am tired. Now all 5 men's gazes focus on her face. Cindy withdraws her thoughts and scans over the several men. Shadow, just thinking about that hair-raising gorgeous coldness makes Cindy shiver all over. Blake, with his explosive temper that ignites at the slightest touch, might he accidentally threaten to die in front of her? Luna appears gentle and steady, but in some ways comparable to Timothy. Today, his words and actions made Cindy realize he's also someone with deep schemes and is particularly suspicious. Cecil, he's a clear and innocent puppy-like younger brother, and importantly, with his metal-type ability. His combat power isn't weak either. Thinking this way, she points forward with her finger. It's you, Cecil. Cecil is somewhat flattered. His colorful peacock feathers instantly stand up, and his pair of pink-orange peach blossom eyes sparkle with light. The next second, those erected colorful peacock feathers arrange themselves in an orderly fan shape. This is the natural body reaction of male peacocks courting female peacocks. He can't control it in his excitement. As for the remaining men, they all look disappointed. Cecil prepares to escort Cindy back to her room with a bright smile, but Timothy still grips her hand tightly, showing no intention of letting go. Cindy doesn't pull away forcefully. Instead, she places one hand on his shoulder, stands on her tiptoes, and gives him a light kiss on his lips. Good night. See you tomorrow morning. The girl's gentle kiss and smile instantly calm the tiger that was about to explode emotionally. As the door clicks shut, Cindy looks at Cecil, and her heart starts pounding wildly. Lady, it's getting late. Let me help you change and wash up. Cecil swiftly removes his outer coat, his cold, white, handsome face tinged with a blush as he looks at Cindy shyly. Cindy takes a deep breath and stammers, I can bathe myself. In the interstellar beast world, men serving their lady with dressing and washing is perfectly normal, and among a group of husbands, being able to frequently attend to their lady and help her bathe is considered an honor. After finishing her wash, Cindy casually wraps herself in a bath towel, only to realize she forgot to bring in her bathrobe. She opens the door, about to ask Cecil to help bring it in. The young man is already standing at the door early, holding a neatly stacked bathrobe in his hands. In the young man's view, under the girl's white bath towel, her cold, white, and tender shoulders appear and disappear, and her beautiful, delicate collarbone has graceful lines. Cecil only feels a strong, hot current like a volcano about to erupt. He turns his head away, respectfully handing over the pajamas with both hands, then turns around. Estimating that Cindy has finished putting on her pajamas, he turns back around. Lady, let me blow dry your hair? His eyes are clear and innocent. This feeling makes Cindy lower her guard against him a bit. She nods and follows him to sit down in front of the dressing table. Cecil's movements are very gentle, his cold, white, slender fingers occasionally testing the temperature at the blow dryer outlet. Cindy feels a bit unsteady sitting there, her hands lifting up to grip his waist for support. The moment the young man's waist is touched by her fingers, his whole body stiffens and his face reddens, but he quickly calms down. Noticing his reaction, Cindy finds him cute and amusing. With such a good physique, such high attractiveness, and so pure and innocent. If this were in her previous life, all done, lady. Cecil's voice pulls her thoughts back. Cindy gets up and thanks him, but Cecil stands in place motionless, as if he has something to say. What's wrong? Cindy looks at him puzzledly. Lady, Cecil hesitates. Was I not performing as well as Timothy just now? Cindy's lips part. What do you mean? Cecil's ears turn so red they're about to drip blood. He seemed to make you very comfortable. Cecil's fingers curl up, his voice getting smaller. That night we all heard it. Heard what? Cindy recalls the night she spent alone with Timothy. They didn't all hear it, did they? Cindy's toes curl against the ground, wishing she could immediately find a hole to crawl into. Seeing her embarrassed expression, Cecil quickly changes the subject. Lady, let me help you rest. Just as they reach the bedside and sit down, Cecil kneels down in front of her. Cindy had seen plenty of luxury brand kneeling storytelling service in wealthy family CEO short dramas in her previous life. But now she's sitting on the bed, and he's wearing very little. She panics a bit. The next second, Cecil seriously helps her remove her slippers, gently lifting her legs onto the bed, then pulls the blanket over her thoughtfully, without any improper behavior. Cindy blushes even more from her own thoughts. "Lady, you can sleep peacefully. I'll watch over you well tonight." After saying this, Cecil reaches out to gently smooth her hair that got messed up. Cindy looks at him, feeling warm in her heart, with an indescribable sense of security. Unlike Timothy, who seems accustomed to kissing and hugging her as if it's natural, in terms of intimate contact, she still feels somewhat uncomfortable facing Cecil, but somehow she feels more settled inside. This kind of security is something Luna, Shadow, and Blake couldn't possibly give her. "Cecil," Cindy calls out softly. Cecil, who just sat back down on the sofa, springs up like a spring. "What's wrong, lady? My neck feels a bit uncomfortable." Upon hearing this, Cecil immediately comes over with concern. Cindy's neck was injured before, and all of her husbands know this. Although it was healed by Timothy in the healing chamber, they're still afraid of after effects, especially since she's still in recovery these past 2 days. While Cecil concentrates on examining Cindy's neck, he sees a pair of small hands gently embrace his neck and pull down. The girl's soft and warm kiss lands unexpectedly. The young man's whole body turns red, and a strange impulse wants to respond to this girl, but Cindy gently pushes him away. "Thank you, Cecil." Cecil swallows reluctantly, his face and ears red for a second. Then the next second, the shyness on his face is replaced by surprise. "Lady, my mental riot level dropped from 55 to 48. Did you just help me with mental power adjustment? But how did you do it? Just 1 second of contact." And she lowered his mental riot level by 7 points. Even the Empire's most powerful SSS level women would find this difficult to achieve. Cindy curves her lips in a smile. "My performance isn't very stable. You were probably just lucky earlier. Whatever it is, thank you, lady." Cecil puts away his shy thoughts and helps her tuck in the blanket corners again. Using mental power can be very exhausting. "Lady, rest well." After saying this, he takes a deep breath, bends down with a red face to kiss her forehead, then extends his finger to use his ability to turn off the room lights, leaving only a small night light by the bed. Cindy closes her eyes but can't fall asleep for a long time. The best effect for adjusting mental riot comes from pressing foreheads together and entering the other person's mental sea. But after entering Blake and Shadow's mental seas, she discovered her appearance in the other person's mental sea is somewhat hard to describe. Her clothing can't be brought in, not even an inch or strand. Fortunately, her hair becomes longer and thicker, temporarily covering her body. But if she encounters another gust of wind like with Shadow, Cindy thinks randomly for a while, deliberately turns over, and slightly opens her eyes to peek at the bedside. Cecil sits on the sofa, supporting his chin with one hand, his eyes clear, quietly watching her like he's admiring a precious collection. The next day, a ray of sunlight shines into the room. Cindy opens her eyes and feels golden light all around, compared to being startled by seeing Timothy's transformed tiger before, a beautiful peacock on the sofa, colorful and decorated with beautiful gems and jewels, instantly attracts her attention. It sleeps with closed eyes, its diamond-studded colorful feathers gently rising and falling with its slight breathing. A long, magnificent gem-encrusted tail drags behind it, sparkling brilliantly. Cindy just quietly admires it. Cecil senses her gaze, his eyes widening as he wakes up instantly. The next second, he transforms back into human form. After washing up together, they go downstairs. Except for Shadow, the remaining 3 husbands are already waiting in the living room early. 6 gazes with scrutiny look directly at Cecil, then fall on Cindy's face. Good news, lady looks fragile and delicate, so she probably hasn't had a personality split. Bad news, she seems nourished by love, even more beautiful and pitiable. Good and bad news, Cecil's mental fluctuation level dropped dramatically by 7 points. Luna looks investigative, lady. Did you help him adjust his mental sea last night? Cecil thinks of that gentle kiss, both proud and shy as he nods, but we didn't press foreheads together. Cecil notices a sharp, piercing gaze shooting at him and quickly explains. Blake asks directly with gossip. Lady, Cecil, did you two last night? Cecil's face turns red, while Blake's tone shifts. Sleep well? Cindy's eyebrows curve with a smile, without puppet corpses disturbing us. Very well. Only then does she notice a gaze shooting toward her. She looks up and meets Timothy's gaze. The latter looks at her with a calm and gentle expression, but deep in his eyes intense undercurrents surge, and his whole body radiates low pressure. The next second, Cindy is startled. Why did your mental riot level increase? In the few days Cindy has known Timothy, his mental sea fluctuations haven't been obvious. If Lady isn't there tonight, he doesn't want to show it, but his words still overflow with intense jealousy. Mine might be even higher. The man's voice is low and hoarse, grinding his teeth, wanting nothing more than to keep the girl in his arms in his territory forever, not letting anyone snatch her away. Luna glances at the 2 people clinging together, and suddenly feels redundant. I'll go get more nutrition liquid to drink on the road. I'll help you. Blake understands and follows. Then I'll call Shadow. Cecil, also wanting to disappear on the spot, quickly adds. The living room instantly becomes quiet, leaving only Cindy and Timothy. Compared to usual, today's Timothy radiates low pressure all over. Cindy immediately knows he's sulking. She didn't expect this big tiger to be so easily jealous, yet still maintain his noble and elegant appearance on the surface. But only Cindy knows that his possessiveness toward her is extraordinary, very domineering, and he lacks security. Thinking this, Cindy secretly sighs. Well, she can only comfort her own man herself. All right, don't be angry anymore, okay? Cindy reaches out to support his shoulders, then stands on her tiptoes to kiss him lightly. The man's lips finally show a satisfied smile. The next second, his large hand cups the back of the girl's head, and stormy kisses fall down frantically. This kiss does lower Timothy's risen riot level. Hungry? Let's eat breakfast first. He reaches out to gently rub her hair and leads her into the kitchen by the hand. After finishing breakfast and coming out, the remaining 4 husbands are already waiting outside. Cecil takes out a 5-seat SUV temporarily stored in his spatial ring. Cindy is very shocked. You actually have a car? Timothy just smiles, not surprised by her foolish questions caused by memory loss. Lady, we're only exiled on this barren star, not completely deprived of personal freedom and locked in dungeons. Cindy thoughtfully says, oh, then thinks of a new problem. We have 6 people, but only 5 seats. It seems like not enough. Doesn't he have wings to fly? Why take a car? Shadow squints at Cecil. Cecil turns around defiantly. You can crawl too. Why are you taking a car? If it were any normal day, he definitely wouldn't dare confront Shadow directly, but now with Cindy right in front of him, he can't lose momentum. Yeah, snake species seem to like crawling in dark, twisted ways. Blake, who had a grudge with him yesterday, says loudly. Cindy looks at the 3 arguing like children, speechless inside. Shadow's eyes flash with malice, just about to raise his hand when he sees Cindy's pitiful gaze looking over. Brothers, can you please not argue? Shadow angrily waves his sleeve, suppressing his anger. Cindy purses her lips tentatively. How about we don't take so many people? Timothy directly refuses. If not for safety, I wouldn't want to bring along so many eyesores. Shadow also disagrees. Then what do we do? We only have 1 car. Blake looks at Cecil with some apology in his eyes. How about you bear with it? He makes a gesture of a chick spreading its wings to fly with his strong arms. Cecil, who's usually agreeable, refuses without thinking. Sorry, I can't bear with it today. Besides, Blake, your 4 legs can run faster than my flying. The interstellar lightning canyon cheetah isn't called that for nothing, right? Luna quickly comes out to mediate. All right, even if it seats 5 people, do you think the back seat can fit 3 people? Cindy looks at the back seat, then at the several tall, muscular men. 2 people sitting would be crowded, let alone 3 people. Then what do we do? Everyone struggles with this. Luna thinks transform? Male beastmen can freely adjust their body size within a certain range after transforming back to beast form, although there's a minimum size limit. Seating 3 people would be much easier. Blake crosses his arms. I accept transforming. At least I'm not going by myself. Seeing the several men about to argue like children again, Cindy finally can't stand it. How about we draw lots to decide? Number 1 drives, numbers 2, 3, 4 transform, number 5 hangs on the car roof. Let's do it this way. Timothy produces paper and pen from somewhere, quickly tearing them into small strips and writing. For fairness, Lady will fold them. Cindy reaches out to take them, folds them while muttering, flips them several times before opening her palm, wishing everyone good luck. Blake is first to pick one and open it, his eyes lighting up. Number 3. Luna also picks one, secretly breathing a sigh of relief. Number 2. Cecil picks one, his face instantly turning green. Without saying anything, this expression clearly means he got number 5. Are you bullying me because I'm young? Cecil is on the verge of tears. Timothy and Shadow haven't drawn yet. Number 5 for hanging on the car roof has been taken. Both look indifferent and aren't in a hurry. Shadow crosses his arms, looking cool as he waits for Timothy to draw, but Timothy pushes his gold-rimmed glasses with an elegant gentleman's smile. Since I provided the paper for fairness, you go first, I'll choose last. Shadow looks at Timothy suspiciously, reluctantly reaching out to pick one. Number 4, he frowns deeply. Timothy casually picks up the last small paper strip from Cindy's palm, his lips curving. I drive. Cecil reluctantly transforms into a peacock and flies onto the car roof. Lady, please get in the car. Timothy opens the car door for Cindy. After she gets in, he bends down to help her fasten her seatbelt before jumping into the driver's seat. Cindy looks at the control panel. It's identical to cars from her previous life, showing no traces of interstellar high technology. Timothy seems to understand her thoughts and explains softly, transportation on barren stars is deliberately restricted. Is it to prevent prisoners from escaping? Exactly. Because Dark Star exiles the most special group of criminals once they escape to remote planets or join space pirates. The time cost and human and material resources needed to recapture them become unworkable, so even the official personnel in the interstellar prison town can't usually see aircraft. If they have public holidays or need to leave for business, the interstellar central prison will arrange aircraft to pick them up. After speaking, his gaze looks toward the sky. The sky you see now actually has an invisible protective shield outside. This shield ensures that even if Dark Star criminals steal aircraft, they can't escape. It also protects Dark Star's safety to some extent, preventing Zerg invasion. But this planet has many puppet corpses Cindy realizes mid-sentence. Puppet corpses appear from mysterious time rifts on Dark Star. Perhaps the Zerg haven't discovered such passages yet, or can't use them temporarily. Timothy gently reminds. Alright, hold tight. I'm starting the car. The car starts, driving toward the interstellar prison town. Cindy inadvertently looks in the rearview mirror and can't help but smile. In the back seat, a black bear with glossy fur and orange eyes, an ice blue snake with vicious eyes, and a sharp-eyed, fluffy-eared silver wolf with erect ears, each one wearing seatbelts, swaying with the bumpy car ride, quite adorably contrasting. Shadow notices the girl's gaze in the rearview mirror and smiles wickedly, hissing and sticking out a scarlet forked tongue at her. Cindy's pupils contract, and she quickly looks away. What's wrong? Timothy, concentrating on driving, extends his arm to hold her small hand. No, nothing. After saying this, Cindy bites her teeth and glares at the rearview mirror. Shadow's eyes look resentful. After glancing at their tightly held hands, he snorts coldly and closes his eyes. The car gradually leaves their desolate residential area. The roads become wider, and they encounter more people on the road. Suddenly, a deer's call comes from outside the window. Cindy, who was squinting and leaning against Timothy's right arm to rest, sits up puzzledly. She turns to look out the car window, her deer eyes instantly widening with amazement. Outside, many traveling male beast men and females pass by. Most are combinations of one lady with several husbands. There are also a few men traveling alone or in groups. Their travel methods vary, and the animal species are too numerous to count. Cindy feels like she's stepped into the African savanna or some fantastical animal world. The scene is too shocking. Her eyes can't take it all in. Timothy notices she's awake and asks considerately, "Lady, are you thirsty? Would you like some fruit juice?" "Not thirsty." "Are you thirsty?" Cindy withdraws her gaze. "I'm not thirsty either." Timothy lifts her hand and kisses it. The three in the back seat, though pretending to sleep with closed eyes, all secretly open a slit when the two start talking. Shadow watches their intimacy, his eyes growing darker. Blake and Luna feel redundant, wanting to immediately crawl under the car. Cindy checks the time. "How much longer until we arrive?" "Soon?" Cindy sits back and continues supporting her cheek while watching the scenery outside. Luna glances at the back of Cindy's head. "Why do I feel like Lady is experiencing this planet for the first time?" Blake whispers back, "I seem to remember that people with split personalities don't remember what happened during other personalities." After saying this, he sighs, guilt washing over him again. "Lady is so pitiful, and I used to." The car bumps along for a while longer. Cecil, sprawled on the car roof, has his feathers completely blown open by the wind. He thinks and suggests, "Lady, how about we switch to a different car?" "Sure, but how do we switch?" Cindy looks puzzled. Luna explains, "Using points or star coins. Every month, the meteor ore cores we mine, besides the portion given to the interstellar prison, the rest can be converted to points, or star coins, stored in our light brain personal accounts for purchases. Each exile family with a woman can exchange for different cars and residences based on the number of husbands in the family. Interstellar spouse matching is generally one woman with 5 husbands. Women with high mental power levels can match more than 5, but no more than 12 husbands." Cindy is quite shocked. 12 husbands? Yes. If a woman's mental power level is very high, there could be even more. Cars are easy to handle. Residences come in 3 types. 1 master bedroom with 5 secondary bedrooms, 1 master bedroom with 12 secondary bedrooms. But regardless of specification, there will be dungeons matching the number of husbands. Cindy is stunned. "So we have the 1 master bedroom type?" Luna sighs. "Yes. Lady used to not want to live with us, so she made us live in the dungeons." Cindy immediately feels uncomfortable. Timothy beside her squeezes her hand. "Lady, that's all in the past." "Right, it's all in the past." Luna and Blake also quickly comfort her. Cindy says, "Oh," and subconsciously opens her light brain to check. When she sees the account balance showing negative 999,999,999,999.0 star coins, she gasps sharply. "Why does my account owe 990 billion star coins?" Shadow opens his ice blue eyes, looking at Cindy with schadenfreude. "Of course it's because you went bankrupt. And light brains can only display up to 99 trillion. Lady actually owes the equivalent of a planet, at least tens of trillions." Cindy pinches her philtrum hard. The next second, she opens her account points interface, seeing the bright 0 displayed there. Cindy is completely on the verge of tears. "Why are my account points also 0? Timothy slows the car, squeezing her palm. "Because the Interstellar Military Court ruled that based on Lady's personal ability, you can never pay off this debt in your lifetime. So any star coins or points entering Lady's personal account will be immediately transferred away." As his words fall, a fragment of memory floods into Cindy's mind. The gist is that all losses from Cindy's destruction of Prosperity Star 3 are calculated in star coins to be compensated by Cindy. After receiving the plot, Cindy feels speechless. Isn't this exactly like the deadbeat debtors from her previous life? She won't be restricted from spending too, will she? Cindy's heart instantly sinks to the icy lake bottom. "Don't worry, I'll support you." Timothy grips her hand tightly, his voice clear and determined. "I'll be responsible for solving your future affairs. You don't need to worry, Lady. I can support you too." "Lady, me too." Blake and Luna chime in. Their backgrounds are different from Timothy, Shadow, and Cecil. Their families have more merit and reputation rather than wealth. Of course, when it comes to fame and prestige, they naturally can't compare with Timothy and Shadow. Cindy is somewhat moved but still politely says, "That's so embarrassing. You've all been implicated and exiled because of me. Husband and wife are originally one body, sharing risks and benefits together." Luna raises his paw to scratch his ear, so supporting one's own woman is natural and right. "Exactly. My assets are currently frozen, but once I finish my sentence, I'll immediately crowdfund to help Lady pay off her debts." Cecil, sprawled on the car roof, also pokes his peacock head down. "I've decided. Starting tomorrow, I'll never dare to slack off again. I'm going mining. Lots and lots of mining." Blake also pats his chest with his leopard paws. Shadow looks at everyone and snorts coldly, closing his eyes again. The husband's words make Cindy's imagination run wild. Tens of trillions in debt, and they all want to support her. Why not find more husbands? A few stay home to accompany her and take on welfare reduction tasks from the interstellar prison, while the rest all go out to work, working non-stop. If they can't pay it off in 1 year, then 2 years, 3 years? As Cindy thinks about this, her back grows cold. How is this different from those capitalists in her previous life who crazily exploited corporate slaves? At least capitalists pay salaries, provide social insurance, and give bonuses, while she gives nothing. Forget it, that's too cruel and immoral. "We're here." Timothy's voice brings Cindy back from her strange thoughts. Cindy looks up and sees a town with a faint protective shield and high-tech appearance in the distance. Tall and mighty enforcement soldiers carrying energy guns, and warning robots patrolling everywhere in the air. However, outside the town, vagrant men densely surround the area. These men all have obvious beast characteristics. Not just beast ears, but claws, beast fur, and some are even 90% beast transformed. Cindy knows this is because their mental riot levels are too high. They're like hungry beasts, their eyes hungrily staring at every woman who passes by. Timothy finds a relatively open space to park the car. With his long legs, he steps out and opens the passenger door, scooping Cindy up in his arms. "I can walk by myself." Seeing he has no intention of putting her down, Cindy quickly says, "This area is a danger zone. Very dangerous." "Hold me tight," Timothy says, pulling her even closer to his chest. Cindy still wants to refuse when she smells strange odors drifting from the crowded areas. It's the pheromone scents that male beast men deliberately emit, mostly floral and woody fragrances, but some pheromones smell like rotting wood and decaying leaves, nauseating. There are also several that smell like Bradford pear blossoms, scents produced by men in heat. Cindy's brow furrows slightly. "Lady, what's wrong?" Luna notices her expression is off. Just as he approaches, Timothy already takes out a transparent mask from his spatial storage for Cindy to wear. "What's this?" Cindy is startled. "A protective mask that blocks pheromones." Cecil puts the car away in his spatial ring, then joins Luna, Blake, and Shadow, each taking a position to protect Timothy and Cindy in the center. As soon as Cindy appears, some vagrant men's gazes lock onto her. Several men with unfriendly looks even start surrounding the 6 of them. "Looks like Cindy, who burned down Prosperity Star 3. That evil woman who tortures and abuses her husbands like slaves. God, look, she can't even walk and needs her husband to carry her. I feel so sorry for him. Does she not have feet?" Someone in the crowd recognizes Cindy. Suddenly, the group of men who were originally gathered at the roadside preparing to strike disperse and clear the path. Shadow can't help but sneer. Having a bad reputation actually has benefits. Though he says this, his sinister eyes pause on each of the men who gossiped and previously had ill intentions. Sharp ice spikes silently appear above their heads in mid-air. Hearing Cindy being secretly criticized, Blake clenches his fists, veins bulging on his muscular arms. He wants nothing more than to charge over immediately. "There are several high-level ability users among them," Cecil says, taking out his colorful spirit feather fan in midair and standing beside Blake. "I'll help you." Luna quickly raises his hand to stop them both. "This is a place of trouble. We shouldn't cause problems or stay long. There's no need to stoop to their level. Most of those gathered outside are vagrant men who've been exiled on Dark Star for over a century without a lady for mental comfort. Not only are their mental riot levels extremely high, but most are vicious criminals. Right now we're only provoking a few, but we can't guarantee other men won't want a piece of the action when they see Cindy. Brute, just a brute." Shadow snorts coldly, a flash of cruelty in his eyes as he quickly follows Cindy and the others. Blake becomes even more angry. "Shadow, stop your sarcasm! I think Luna has a point." Cecil secretly tugs at Blake. "Lady is watching us." Blake turns and meets Cindy's pitiful, worried gaze. His leopard ears instantly soften, and the angry flames that just ignited in his orange eyes immediately extinguish. The 6 of them file through the interstellar prison town entrance security checks, scans, and registration, entering the town's interior. Only then does Timothy put Cindy down, but his hand still grips hers tightly. Suddenly, screams come one after another. Commotion erupts from the crowd outside the town. Cindy instinctively looks back. She sees blood splattered on several men's faces, and 2 men painfully opening their mouths with bright red blood gushing out, as if half their tongues were ripped out. Another man just opened his mouth gloatingly when a sharp cold light pierced through his mouth. Cindy shivers all over, frightened by this scene. "Let's go!" Timothy glances at Shadow nonchalantly, as if he saw nothing, just gently patting Cindy's back. "Don't be afraid." Luna looks at Shadow and asks quietly, "You did that?" Shadow's lips curve into a sinister smile, neither confirming nor denying, as he smooths his ice blue hair blown by the wind. Blake and Cecil exchange glances, looking at him. him. Timothy's steps pause, his tone tinged with displeasure. Aren't you coming? Where do we go first? Luna catches up. First-time visitor to Interstellar Prison Town, Cindy looks left and right, full of curiosity. I'm going to the Dark Star Prison Management Center to submit task or cores and exchange points. Timothy looks at the nearest shopping center. You take lady to pick out some clothes and daily necessities. Wait for me to return, then we'll go to the underground supermarket to buy food and utensils lady wants. Today is the day the Interstellar Town Shopping Center and supermarket are open to all criminals. It will be very dangerous. You must guard lady well. Okay, Cecil and Luna nod. Blake thinks, how about I go with you? I just observed. As soon as we entered, several high-level ability users targeted us. Men exiled on barren stars kill puppet corpses to obtain crystals and mine meteor ore to get ore cores for exchanging points. But some men want to reap without sowing. They specifically ambush men going to the prison management center to directly rob crystals and ore cores. Timothy has spatial and healing abilities. With him nearby, I'd be safer too. As for Cindy, as long as she enters the shopping center with Cecil, Shadow, and the others protecting her, there shouldn't be major problems. Timothy ponders for a second. All right, he looks seriously at the girl beside him. Some of our points and star coins are stored with Cecil. Whatever you fancy, just have him pay for it. Blake and I will return immediately after finishing our business. Remember, you absolutely cannot leave any of our sight. Cindy nods obediently. She looks around. Unlike the outer perimeter crowded with vagrant men, inside the town looks much more peaceful and quiet. If not for the red location dots on their light brain wristbands, you couldn't tell who are the official interstellar prison personnel and who are the criminals exiled on this barren star. But since Timothy is so cautious, this seemingly calm town must have undercurrents. Timothy glances at Cecil. Help me choose some court-style clothes for lady. Deduct the points from my share. 3 handsome tall men follow Cindy into the town's largest shopping center. Cecil leads her directly into a store selling court clothing. Their clothes are all imperial, court-style. Very beautiful and suitable for lady, Cecil explains as they walk. Cindy is curious. So the Empire has royalty? Cecil nods, of course. The Empire is one of the few interstellar governments where male beast men hold power, and it's the richest and most powerful in all of interstellar space. Cindy turns and notices someone missing. Hey, where's Shadow? Luna and Cecil look around. Except for the service robots and patrolling warning robots, the spacious store is empty. This person just likes appearing and disappearing mysteriously. Here, let me send him a message to ask. After Cecil complains, he takes down a dress with puffy sleeves and covered in pearls and gems for Cindy. Lady, how about trying this one? Okay. Cindy reaches out to take it and enters the fitting room. Just as she takes off her current dress to put on the new one, she glimpses a small, transparent green snake lying on the new dress. Cindy screams and throws the dress out. Cecil, guarding the door and thinking she's in danger, rushes in without thinking. Seeing Cindy with minimal clothing, his beautiful peach blossom eyes widen instantly. Cindy instinctively covers her chest. Only then does Cecil react, quickly closing his eyes. Lady, are you all right? I'm fine. I was startled by a small snake, Cindy says with lingering fear, looking at the red-faced, red-eared young man with a nosebleed, finding it both amusing and touching. But you have a problem. Cecil is stunned but still keeps his eyes tightly closed, not daring to breathe. Cindy can only pick up her previous dress to hastily cover herself, then hands him a tissue. You can open your eyes now. Cecil's face reddens as he realizes he got a nosebleed. He takes the tissue, his cold white handsome face burning even more. Lady, Cecil, are you all right? Luna's footsteps sound outside the fitting room, just as Cecil was guarding the door. He went to help pick out a suitable dress for Cindy. Upon hearing the exclamation, he hurried over immediately. Cindy quickly responds, "We're fine now." Cecil calms down and looks at the court dress on the floor. "Lady, what happened to you just now?" Cindy pats her chest with lingering fear. "I saw a small snake on the clothes." Cecil frowns, picking up the dress to examine it. "Was it ice blue colored?" Cindy is surprised. "How did you know?" Cecil's lips curve up in explanation. "It's Shadow's unique mini clone. He probably left temporarily for something and sent the little snake to protect you. At critical moments, it can help you block many dangers." He flips the dress several more times but doesn't see the small snake. Don't know how he recalled it. He's probably back. Just as he finishes speaking, Luna's voice greeting Shadow can be heard. Luna questions loudly, "Cecil, why are you still inside? Lady won't have a problem, will she?" He wants to go in, but because it's a lady's fitting room and his relationship with Cindy isn't as close as Cecil's, he can only hold back. "I'm fine. The dress is hard to fasten, so I asked Cecil to help." Cindy makes up an excuse. She's somewhat afraid the little snake was Shadow's prank. With Cecil here, she feels relatively secure. Also, this dress has a gorgeous complex style, traditional classical design with no zipper in the back, just crisscrossing, silk ribbons that need to be tied layer by layer. She really doesn't know how to wear it. Cecil sees her difficulty and says softly, "Lady, I'll help you. Can you?" Cindy looks amazed. Cecil unties the ribbons and hands them to her, then turns around. This is what his beloved concubine father taught him, but he's too embarrassed to say this. "Okay." Cindy quickly puts on the dress, turning her back to Cecil. Only then does Cecil open his eyes, carefully helping her tie the silk layers. Too tight? Tell me if it's tight. Looking at herself in the fitting room mirror, Cindy is very satisfied with this dress. She feels like she becomes elegant and noble just by lifting her hand slightly. Done. Cecil finishes tying the last ribbon and looks up at the girl in the mirror. This gorgeous dress on her with perfect looks, temperament, and figure adds even more enchanting charm. Cecil can't help but lean close to her ear, sincerely praising. Lady is so beautiful. Being Lady's husband is my honor. He knows Cindy wants to re-sign a divorce agreement with him, but he's made up his mind. He won't divorce. But whether they divorce seems not up to him now. He can only try to win her over before the agreement period ends. Make her change her mind. With this thought, Cecil secretly determines his resolve. Thank you. Cindy looks at the young, handsome, tall young man in the mirror. Feeling something stir in her heart, Cecil smells a faint rose fragrance and asks delightedly, Lady, are you using the rose perfume I gave you? Yes. The girl smiles. I will use and treasure all the gifts you give me. Rose perfume wasn't considered precious in her previous life, but in interstellar space, especially on this barren dark star, it's extremely hard to find. Of course, for her, the most precious thing isn't the gift itself, but the giver's deep intentions. Really. Cecil's hidden inferiority instantly vanishes. He's so excited his peacock feathers stand up, his pair of pink-orange peach blossom eyes sparkling with light. Really? Cindy says, reaching out to support his shoulders, standing on her tiptoes to kiss his lips lightly. The young man's ears instantly turn bright red. This dress fits well and is very beautiful. I'll take it off first, Cindy says, asking him to turn around. The young man's fingers at his sides curl slightly. The next second, he suddenly cups the girl's face and bends down to kiss her. Cindy is startled by this sudden action, but soon closes her eyes. Cecil's kiss is innocent and gentle, afraid of hurting her. Outside the fitting room, Shadow and Luna sense what's happening inside. The two exchange glances, then both look away with ugly expressions. After the kiss ends, both breathe slightly hard. Cecil seems enchanted, hugging her waist and kissing her again. This time it's no longer gentle, but carries the young man's long-suppressed passionate emotions surging forth. He glances at the leather bench in the corner of the fitting room, scooping Cindy up to sit on his lap, continuing this sweetness. The daughter flower light in Cindy's body blazes brightly. After a while, Cecil reluctantly lets her go. If not for being in a fitting room, he's really afraid he'd lose control. Luna's voice comes from the door with some meaningful undertones. Cecil, lady, aren't you done yet? Done. Cecil collects his thoughts, hugging Cindy as he stands, helping her fix her messy hair. You go out first. I'll come out after changing. Close. Cindy is still somewhat embarrassed. The passionate kiss just now made her forget her worry about the little green snake. Cecil is somewhat reluctant, not afraid anymore? Yes, not afraid. The girl smiles, helping him wipe the lipstick marks from his lips. That's good, Cecil says gently, his slender fingers gently undoing the complex knots on her back. As the silk ribbons slide down, the young man can't help but plant a deep kiss on her fair, smooth, tender back, his voice full of gentle tenderness. I'll wait for you outside. Just as Cecil steps out of the fitting room, he feels an icy chill hitting him head-on. Shadow stands upright with hands in pockets not far away, his ice blue eyes like a cold night abyss, sinister gaze wrapped in intense resentment shooting straight at him. Luna also looks at him suspiciously, his wolf nose slightly sniffing the air. Did you and Lady have an affair inside? Cecil's feathers instantly bristle with anger at Luna's words, his colorful plumage standing up like sharp spikes. Lady and I are legitimate, husband and wife. Even if we have some intimate behavior, it's natural and right. How can you call it an affair? Luna's throat catches, coughing awkwardly several times. Suddenly, an elegant, noble figure appears from around the corner. Timothy's golden eyes lightly scan everyone, his clear tone carrying inquiry. Affair? Who's having an affair? The next second, the man's gentle, elegant gaze darkens. Blake, equally keen-nosed, bluntly points at Cecil. Why are you covered in Lady's perfume scent? The atmosphere instantly drops to freezing point. I asked you to protect her, not take advantage of the opportunity to get close. Timothy pushes his gold-rimmed glasses, raising an eyebrow at Cecil. I really underestimated you. I'm also a husband. Why can you but I can't? Cecil immediately feels wronged and angry. Shadow is right. Lady doesn't belong to you alone. If you really have such strong possessiveness and control desires, then go change the interstellar rules. Change the thousands-year-old tradition of one wife with multiple husbands system. Make the woman you fancy belong only to you for life. Otherwise, you can stop me. But can you stop him? Or him? Maybe there are men we don't know on their way here. Can you stop everyone? The more Cecil speaks, the angrier he gets, you know. The first person Lady really kissed wasn't you either. Who knows, her first man might not necessarily be you either. These two sentences touch Timothy's reverse scale, completely enraging him. His pair of brilliant golden eyes burn with raging flames. He roars, how do you know I haven't tried to change? Before his words finish, he transforms into a majestic tiger, roaring as he pounces at Cecil. Cecil also doesn't back down, instantly producing his colorful spirit feather fan, forcefully fanning it at Timothy. Warning, fighting and brawling strictly forbidden in indoor areas, violators will be executed. A group of warning robots, patrolling in the air, quickly surround the two. Timothy and Cecil's light brains flash red as high-voltage current spreads through both their bodies. Dozens of laser red dots simultaneously target them. Timothy! Cecil! Stop quickly! Luna and and Blake are shocked, immediately stepping forward to each restrain one. Oh my! A cry comes from the fitting room door. Seeing the dense swarm of warning robots and dozens of red gun barrels aimed at Timothy and Cecil, Cindy, who quickly changed clothes after hearing the argument and came out, covers her mouth with both hands, completely frozen in place. Already weak-legged from her passionate kiss with Cecil, Cindy's body staggers, nearly collapsing on the spot. Timothy immediately transforms back to human form, rushing over to catch her in his arms. Cecil watches Cindy being held by Timothy, feeling bitter inside, his head feathers drooping with anger. "Lady, are you all right?" Timothy looks at Cindy, the fury on his face instantly disappearing, replaced by his previous gentle, elegant expression. Cindy looks at him, then glances at Cecil, her voice taking on a crying tone. "Can you please stop arguing?" She says this while heavily covering her chest with her hand, looking pained. "When you argue, my heart aches terribly." Timothy knows she's acting, but seeing the girl's tearful appearance, his heart suddenly stabs with pain. His noble head immediately droops, burying into her chest and gently nuzzling. He apologizes gently. "No more arguing, lady. I was wrong." Cecil suppresses his inner bitterness and approaches. "Lady, I was wrong too. All right. We're all family. We should love each other, right?" Luna quickly mediates. Blake also agrees. "Yes, lady's health wasn't good to begin with. Let's not make her sad anymore." He speaks while making eye contact with both, hinting they shouldn't trigger Cindy's crazy personality. Shadow coldly watches all this, his gaze lingering on Cindy's face for a moment, complex emotions flashing in his ice blue eyes. "It's getting late. Let's grab something to eat." Luna changes the subject again. "My lady must be tired of drinking nutrient solutions. There are several restaurants in this small town. Maybe we can try something different for a change. Speaking of which, weren't we planning to buy a new house and car? We can check those out while we're at it and pick a style my lady likes," Blake adds. "Please don't fight because of me anymore." Cindy breaks free from Timothy's embrace, looking pitiful at everyone. She doesn't understand why everything changed so drastically in just a few days. At first, they all wanted to divorce her, which she naturally didn't like. But now this sudden competition for attention and jealousy doesn't bring the expected excitement and joy. Instead, it makes her inexplicably irritated. Keeping everyone happy is truly an art. "If you keep fighting like this, I'll immediately..." Cindy's lips tremble slightly. Before she can say divorce, Timothy blocks her unspoken words. "I know I was wrong. My lady, please don't be angry, okay?" Timothy's brilliant golden eyes dim in an instant. "How about this? I'll go buy the house. Luna and Shadow can take you to eat." He also wants some time alone to reflect quietly. Cindy looks at him with concern. "Aren't you coming to the restaurant?" "Drinking nutrient solution is fine for me," Timothy says, glancing at Luna and Shadow. "Take good care of my lady." After giving instructions, he gets up and strides out with determination. "My lady, then I'll go handle buying the car." Cecil quickly follows him out. Cindy watches their retreating figures and secretly breathes a sigh of relief. She's completely unaware that a pair of sinister crimson eyes are quietly watching Timothy's departing figure through the mall's surveillance feed. A wickedly handsome man in luxurious black clothing slowly curves his lips into a smile. The mighty first prince of the empire, the only legal heir to the empire's future, is actually willing to hide his identity and accompany her in exile here. How interesting. Just as Cindy and her three husbands step out of the mall entrance, a strange sense of unease suddenly floods her heart. Strange. Is something wrong? There are significantly more patrol soldiers and warning robots in the town square than before. Blake's black leopard ears twitch slightly, his orange eyes alertly scanning the surroundings. Based on the current number of soldiers and robots deployed, security has increased by at least 2 levels since we arrived. Cindy pauses. "It's not because of what we did in the mall just now, is it?" Shadow glances at her. "You think too highly of us convicted felons?" "My lady, wait a moment. Let me go find out," Luna says, taking out several crystal cores and walking toward a nearby third-tier raccoon man who's drinking. Before long, Luna quickly walks back. "My lady, Lord Bryson of Darkstar has returned." Cindy had learned from their previous conversations that Darkstar has 1-star lord and 12 deputy lords. However, Luna's expression looks somewhat serious. Cindy asks him, "Is this Lord Bryson special?" "Very special. He's one of the few unmarried 7th-tier ability male beastmen in the galaxy. His ability strength is very powerful, and he should have an unlimited future in the galaxy. It's just unknown why he was suddenly stationed on this barren star. Moreover, his arrival time coincides closely with when we were exiled here. Quite a coincidence." "Coincidence?" Shadow sneers. "More like ill fate." Cindy is shocked. 7th-tier abilities? This is the first time I've heard of such a high-tier male beastman. But if he's unmarried, how did he cultivate to 7th-tier abilities? He's not some old geezer, is he? Luna doesn't immediately answer. Instead, he smiles and points toward the distance. "My lady, there are 3 restaurants over there. Which one would you like to go to?" "That one specializes in ancient Earth cuisine. That one serves galactic universal dishes with many options. And that one offers imperial premium cuisine, ancient Earth." Looking at the Blue Star 1 sign on the ancient Earth restaurant, Cindy's eyes immediately light up. "Let's go there." Blake doesn't understand. "My lady, ancient Earth cuisine takes a long time to cook and lacks the natural flavor of ingredients. Many women don't like it. Are you sure you want to go?" He notices that since Cindy's third personality emerged, not only has her character changed, but even her eating habits have changed. Cindy turns to look at him. Have you tried it? Not really. None of the three of us have. We only like eating meat. All kinds of meat. As for Cecil, he loves both meat and vegetables. Ancient Earth food contains many vegetables, which doesn't suit most males' dietary preferences. Cindy smiles brightly. Since you've never been, we should definitely try it. All right, my lady decides what we eat. Luna leads the way, continuing to educate her as they walk. Lord Bryson is only a few years older than us. He was able to independently upgrade his abilities because he comes from the most remote and isolated Omega planet, which is also the planet closest to the insect race-gathering star region. That planet's mineral resources reportedly contain some rare energy. Some males with great potential can use that energy to complete ability upgrades independently without relying on female power. However, that planet's outer areas are surrounded by insect races and black holes, so those who can reach it are extremely rare. Moreover, that planet was completely destroyed many years ago. Lord Bryson is one of only 2 people who successfully escaped before the planet's destruction. Rich mineral resources, an entire planet completely destroyed. Cindy's heart skips a beat. This plot sounds just like the former Soul's Prosperity Planet 3. She continues asking, who's the other person who escaped? Hansel, a high-ranking Dark Beastman officer with the rank of general, also 7th tier abilities. Luna pauses in his steps, his brow furrowing slightly. The reason for suddenly increasing security is that patrol soldiers discovered traces of Hansel somewhere in Darkstar's territory. Cindy speculates. Dark Beastmen can control puppet corpses, and Darkstar has no shortage of puppet corpses, so they're taking preventive measures. Exactly. Luna finishes speaking and takes a big step to push open the restaurant's glass door. My lady, we've arrived. The 4 randomly pick a window seat. Luna runs his finger across the table surface, and a holographic screen glowing with blue light appears before everyone. Cindy glances at the prices and thinks of her bankrupt status. She suddenly feels like a kid in a candy store with no money, completely powerless. It's okay, we have star coins. Luna extends his arm with the light brain toward her. If my lady wants to experience the joy of paying later, borrow my hand. In the end, the 3 men each order 2 servings of curry chicken and sweet and sour pork ribs. Cindy orders 1 sweet and sour pork rib, plus a vegetable soup and french fries. Luna takes it upon himself to add another item. My lady, let's have a mousse cake too. They say eating sweets improves mood. Cindy is surprised. How do you know that? I read some ancient Earth cuisine books long ago. Luna pauses. If my lady likes ancient Earth food, we can buy some ingredients when we go to the supermarket later. Cindy's eyes curve into crescents. Great. The hot food arrives quickly. Cindy picks up a piece of sweet and sour pork rib and takes a bite. The sweet and sour taste instantly spreads in her mouth, and her eyes light up immediately. She never expected it to taste exactly like what she had in small restaurants in her previous life. My lady, try this too. Luna uses serving chopsticks to transfer some of his untouched curried chicken to her. Cindy tries it and happily gives him a thumbs up. Delicious. Luna hands her a napkin. Then we'll pack some to take home. Okay. Cindy suddenly realizes Luna is quite thoughtful, though they hadn't interacted much before. It's just that the 2 of them didn't get along much before, so she didn't notice it. After finishing their meal, Timothy and Cecil still haven't returned. Cindy thinks for a moment and sends messages to both Timothy and Cecil. The light brain buzzes. Timothy replies to Cindy, I'm at the government office handling house purchase registration. I'll be back soon. Timothy smiles as he finishes replying, then looks up ahead. His gentle expression instantly turns ice cold. First Prince. Wendy sways her waist as she approaches him. Greetings. First Prince. Wendy coquettishly bows to Timothy, then looks up with a charming smile. I didn't know the First Prince was gracing us with his presence. Wendy failed to welcome you properly. Then she glances behind Timothy, her eyes clear and innocent, making a surprised sound. First Prince, isn't my sister with you? Timothy coldly lifts his eyelids, looking down at her condescendingly. Is there something you need? Oh yes. Wendy's lips curve up, pressing together. I only learned after coming to Darkstar that the First Prince is actually my brother-in-law, so I wanted to fulfill my duties as a host and invite the First Prince to honor me by having lunch. As she speaks coquettishly, she lightly lifts her hand to tuck her hair. Oh well, the journey from your home here is so dangerous, and my sister just threw you, her husband, over here alone. How heartless of her, Timothy interrupts sternly. The Darkstar prison's internal management system shouldn't be used by administrators for personal gain, should it? Besides the prison's internal management system backend, Timothy can't think of how else she could know his identity. Oh, First Prince, what are you saying? It's mainly because my sister hid you too well. My sister and I are family. You're my brother-in-law. How could this be considered personal gain? Wendy speaks softly, taking small steps closer to Timothy. It's also my sister's fault for making the First Prince suffer such indignity on this barren star. I also heard she occasionally imprisons and abuses you all. At this, she raises her hand to wipe away tears. You don't know. My sister used to have such a terrible temper. She especially loved abusing people around her, not even sparing small cats and dogs. So now she only beats you occasionally, which is actually considered good for her. But my sister has bipolar disorder. She's also a pitiful person. Please be more tolerant of her. First Prince, if the First Prince ever suffers grievances or needs mental sea healing in the future, please remember to come find me. I guarantee I'll make the first prince comfortable in body and mind. Unlike my sister, she doesn't have you in her heart, and never will. As she speaks, intense manipulative pheromones begin emanating from her body, spreading and enveloping the surroundings. She has B-level mental power, equivalent to a 5th-tier male beastman's ability level. Her released pheromones definitely won't be detected by Timothy, who only has 1st-tier abilities. As for why the pheromones she released at Cindy's door last time disappeared without a trace, Wendy guesses it was just coincidence, or perhaps the surroundings were too open at the time. This time, on her territory in the fully enclosed government building corridor, she believes he can't escape. Moreover, males have monthly heat periods. Once her pheromones reach a certain concentration, she can trigger the other party into a temporary heat period early. Male beastmen naturally have stronger needs than ordinary men. Combined with pheromone interference, it's like making him take an aphrodisiac. Plus, she has an obedience pill that can make any male instantly become docile and obedient. Even if he were a celibate Buddha who had severed all emotions and desires, she could personally drag him down from his high pedestal and make him willingly become her devoted servant. Wendy feels she's already secured victory. Being able to sleep with the galaxy's most outstanding male while stealing Cindy's husband and making her suffer in pain and loneliness, it couldn't be more perfect. First prince, Wendy smiles seductively, twisting her slender waist as she's about to press against the dignified and stern Timothy. The next second, the handsome man, his eyes full of disdain and disgust, has instantly teleported 10 meters away without moving his body. I don't want to hear the title First Prince again on Dark Star. The man's voice is low and ice cold. Also, I remember Cindy saying she doesn't have any messy sisters. If I hear you slandering Cindy again, next time won't be so simple. After speaking, his expression stern, he turns and strides away. Wendy's smile freezes, her face full of embarrassment and awkwardness, instantly plunging into an ice cellar. Just then, a puff sound is heard. The moment Timothy turns around, the manipulative pheromones Wendy released toward him suddenly transform into invisible sharp spikes that pierce back into her body. Wendy feels as if her internal organs are being stabbed by countless fine needles. The pain is immediately excruciating. The harder she tries to release pheromones, the denser and more vicious the needle stabs become. What's happening? Wendy is shocked and quickly retracts all her pheromones. Deputy Lord Wendy, what's wrong? A patrol team passes by and sees her bent over in pain, quickly running over. Wendy grits her teeth and forces a smile. I'm fine. After speaking, she endures the pain and quickly returns to her office, supporting her waist. After closing the door and windows, she finally begins using her mental power to heal herself. After a while, the pain finally disappears. Wendy sits up and frantically calls for the system in her mind. System, what's going on? The system crackles for a long time. Player, this is detected as an ability attack. An extremely rare ability backlash. In the galaxy, the more advanced term is mental piercing. Wendy is shocked. Backlash? Isn't Timothy's ability space and healing? And he's only 1st tier. Backlash is an extremely difficult ability for males to awaken. The energy size is related to ability contact. The only new skill that can counter Backlash ability is the Dark Female's Devouring ability. Backlash can return all received attacks intact, or even double to the attacker, regardless of their tier level. It's just that the power and range differ. Wendy frowns and pulls up Timothy's character profile. She must have missed some information. Male God Timothy information updated, First Prince, ability X, followed by a long string of English. Wendy spits blood. Can't you speak properly instead of using incomprehensible languages? Being constantly frustrated by this man, she's already irritated, and now she has to deal with foreign language and listening tests. This male character profile system is not only useless but sick. The system is also speechless. Don't you know that some sensitive words get filtered by review? The more she thinks about, the angrier she gets. Is that Timothy a masochist? Cindy is clearly an abnormal lunatic, yet he still goes along with her. The system seriously makes up an explanation. Maybe he just has that preference. Some special little kink. What does that X after his ability mean? It might be some ability that can only be used in small ranges. Look, even in the galaxy's official statistics, he only has 2 abilities listed. Wendy is surprised. Generally, males only awaken 1 ability. Having 2 is rare. He actually has 3. Could this backlash be related to this X? The system denies. No, it's not just backlash. The system falls silent for a moment before continuing. Analysis complete. It's mind reading. Small range mind reading, probably only usable on 1 woman. Wendy's mood instantly improves. Did he read my mind? Knowing my feelings, he's deliberately avoiding me. His coldness before was actually playing hard to get with me. The system is speechless. His mind reading is bound to Cindy. A bucket of ice water douses Wendy completely cold. She shivers and remembers something else. I clearly used the obedience pill just now. Why was there no reaction at all? Why do you drop the ball at crucial moments? The system is confused. Player, the obedience pill has requirements for use. The favorability can't be below 0, and his favorability toward you. Wendy gets even angrier. Why didn't you say this earlier? The system is more aggrieved than her. The system store has instructions. Who knew you not to read them? Wendy, knowing she's in the wrong, tries to save face. Do you think he might not work in that area? Or maybe he likes men? You know male beast men have much stronger needs in that area than ordinary men, especially Timothy, who's in his prime. The system is helpless. Player, let me reiterate, he's not sick. He's really not sick. He's perfectly healthy. Wendy sneers coldly. Then it's Cindy's problem. Since I can't handle Timothy, I'll deal with Cindy. Counting the days, it's time to feed her more of those bipolar disorder pills. Timothy immediately sends Cindy a message after leaving the government office. My lady, I'm coming from the government office. Are you still at the restaurant? No, we're about to head to the underground supermarket. Why don't we meet directly at the supermarket entrance? After replying, Cindy looks up at the square. Why isn't Cecil back yet? He's not responding to my messages either. Buying a car should be faster than buying a house, right? Luna chuckles. He loves shopping. He probably got distracted by something pretty or strange along the way. Cindy continues. Then, let's go directly to the supermarket to wait for Timothy. It's getting late. We need to get home before dark today. Blake agrees, right? I heard that at night there are far more puppet corpses around the galactic prison town than where we live. They have energy weapons, and many mid to high tier ability warriors. They're more capable than us. However, Luna's tone shifts. If Hansel is also on Darkstar, these puppet corpses might be much harder to deal with than before. Cindy nods, quickening her pace with them. However, all three men are around 6'3" with long legs. Cindy, at 5'7", can only take quick small steps to keep up. As they walk, Cindy begins to pant lightly. Shadow, who has been silent, glances at her from the corner of his eye, then casually looks away. Blake, carefree, only focuses on moving forward, completely unaware of Cindy's condition. Although Luna keeps Cindy protected beside him, he doesn't think much of it either. Just as the four reach a corner, a rhino man with a horn and hair sparking with fire comes charging out of the crowd on an out-of-control quantum balance vehicle. Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Before Cindy can react, the rhino man charges straight toward her. My lady, be careful! Blake reacts quickly, lightly raising his palm and nimbly dodging while grabbing the out-of-control Rhino Man. The quantum balance vehicle under the Rhino Man loses control and crashes into a wall with a crack. Shadow extends his arm to pull Cindy. Before she can recover, she's pulled into a cold, solid embrace by an ice-cold large hand. The next second, Shadow's unique, faint, cool, clear ocean scent enters her nostrils. Luna glances at Cindy being tightly held in Shadow's arms and jealously withdraws his hand. Shadow looks down at the still-shaken girl in his arms, frowning and speaking with cold disdain. Can't you watch where you're walking? The girl pouts in frustration. The one not watching was clearly him. I think you'd be better off without feet. Shadow snorts coldly and directly hoists Cindy over his shoulder with one hand. Human sack. Cindy's mind goes blank with a thud. Shadow's shoulders are broad and muscular. Cindy feels like she's being carried on a moving wall. She suddenly misses Timothy's embrace terribly. Could you put me down? I can walk by myself? She presses her lips together and speaks carefully. Shadow keeps a cold face and says nothing, striding forward with his long legs. A gust of wind blows. Shadow's ice blue long hair whips across Cindy's face. For a moment, Cindy feels like she's been thrown into cool sea salt soda water. Luna looks at Shadow suspiciously. Maybe you should put my lady down. Shadow mocks him, with her short legs walking so slowly, the supermarket will be closed by the time she gets there. You're the one with short legs. Your whole family has short legs. Blake is puzzled. Shadow, that's too exaggerated. My lady doesn't walk that slowly. Besides, from what I can see, her legs are quite long. He hesitates. How about I carry my lady instead? He don't know how to hold girls, but he is good at carrying people. He did plenty of sack carrying and people carrying training back at the Galactic Military Academy. Shadow still keeps his cold, handsome face. The two have no choice but to quickly follow. Seeing Shadow's stubborn refusal, Cindy knows he's deliberately targeting her. She stops pretending to be delicate and directly threatens in a low voice. Dead snake, put me down quickly, or I'll strangle you. Shadow's hand supporting her back tightens. Noisy, then put me down. As Cindy speaks, she's about to pinch his back with both hands. But when her fingers touch the muscles on his spine, they're like steel and iron. There's no way to get a grip. Cindy complains. Such thick skin. Shadow coldly threatens. If you keep tickling me, I'll chop off your hands. Cindy quickly pulls her hands back. Pervert! My waist hurts, my head is dizzy. When one plan fails, Cindy can only return to her old profession of acting fragile, whimpering and groaning. Blake and Luna exchange glances. They step forward in unison with serious expressions, raising their hands to stop Shadow. Shadow, this isn't the time for games. Put my lady down first. Shadow, be careful not to trigger my lady's. Blake ultimately doesn't dare say personality. Can't you see she's acting? Shadow coldly glances at both of them. Don't worry, she won't die on me. Cindy continues whimpering, her voice taking on a crying tone. My stomach hurts so much. I need to use the bathroom. Shadow stops walking and takes a deep breath. Why are you so troublesome? The girl glares at him angrily. It's normal for people to have urgent needs, isn't it? Shadow snorts coldly. Sorry, I'm not people. Oh, right. You're a cold-hearted, vicious snake that likes dark, crawling spaces. After Cindy finishes complaining quietly, she continues crying out, I can't take it anymore. My stomach hurts so much. She starts flailing her hands and kicking her legs like a panicked grasshopper. This time, her stomach really does hurt. Blake can't watch anymore. Shadow, not letting my lady use the bathroom is going too far. Luna sees through their dynamic. All right, put her down. Shadow loosens his grip, and the girl, looking panicked, slides down from his shoulder. Cindy doesn't stand steady and grabs his waist, but quickly lets go and jumps away. Luna scans the surroundings and spots a bathroom at the alley entrance. My lady, there's a public bathroom over there. We'll wait for you outside. The door. Okay. Cindy rolls her eyes at Shadow, turns around, and runs toward the bathroom. Luna glances at Shadow. Aren't you afraid Timothy will come back and fight you for tormenting my lady like this? Shadow says nothing, only curving his lips into a cold sneer. When Cindy comes out of the bathroom, her light brain buzzes frantically. Sorry, my lady. I never thought you'd contact me through the light brain, so I just saw the message. I saw lots of nice jewelry. Could you help me choose? Cindy opens it and stares in shock for a second. Dozens of jewelry photos, dazzling and magnificent. My lady, which ones don't you like? Cindy struggles. I seem to like them all. Got it, my lady. I understand. Luna told me you're going to the supermarket. I'll meet you directly at the supermarket entrance. See you soon. After replying, she turns on the faucet to wash her hands when she suddenly feels the surrounding environment change abruptly. The sky suddenly darkens. My lady. Cindy turns around and immediately sees Timothy approaching with a gentle smile. Timothy? Cindy pauses. Didn't we agree to meet at the underground supermarket entrance? Timothy speaks warmly. Can't I come see my lady early? He extends a hand toward her. Of course you can. Cindy smiles brightly and walks toward him. Just as she's about to place her hand in his palm, she glimpses a rough, dark red space ring on his hand. Cindy's brow furrows slightly. She awkwardly smiles and pulls her hand back. I just washed my hands and forgot to dry them. Timothy's space ring is elegant and noble. He had already given it to her. The man before her is definitely not Timothy. Let's go, my lady. The fake Timothy's smile grows more intense as he eagerly reaches out to hold Cindy's hand. She forces herself to stay calm with a charming smile, dodging away. Could you turn around and carry me on your back? My leg hurts a little. Behind his glasses, the fake Timothy's deep eyes flash with suspicion, greed, and desire. He looks at the girl with restrained eyes, like a hungry wolf staring at long-awaited prey. Seeing him motionless, Cindy stamps her foot coquettishly. Don't you want to carry me? The man quickly recovers his gentle expression with a smile. Of course I do. Of course I want to. He eagerly half-crouches down, revealing a pair of hungry, blood-red eyes. Come up, my lady. Okay, can you squat down a little more? Cindy says gently, and then immediately drops into a sprint starting position. After taking a deep breath, she runs towards Shadow and the others. Shadow, save me! Clearly, the distance from the bathroom to where Shadow and the others stand is only about 10 meters, but Cindy feels like she can never reach the end no matter how much she runs. You hussy dared to trick me. The fake Timothy instantly reacts, his gentle eyes immediately replaced by violent fury. He suddenly stands up, his disguise falling away. A fierce-looking, tall and burly bear man with muscles bulging like rocks appears. He takes several large steps to catch up with Cindy and grabs the still panicked running girl. Cindy struggles desperately, shouting at the top of her lungs, Shadow, save me! Outside, Luna checks the time with a puzzled expression. Why has my lady been gone so long? Shadow looks up toward the bathroom direction. You're dead meat! Shadow's figure disappears from where he stands, rushing toward the bathroom like a streak of ice blue lightning. Luna doesn't understand. What's wrong, Shadow? Blake's orange eyes widen in alarm, his black leopard ears standing up. Something's wrong at the bathroom entrance. Blake and Luna, realizing the situation, rush over in an instant. At this moment in the mist, such a beautiful woman. I wonder whose family she belongs to. The bear man grins lecherously while gripping Cindy's pale, delicate wrist, about to drag her into a nearby storage room. Come play with me nicely. If you make me happy, I'll reward you well. The intense stench of rotting corpses wafts toward Cindy. The next second, countless sharp ice blades pierce through the mist like swords, precisely striking toward the bear man while cleverly avoiding Cindy. The bear man can't dodge in time and lets out a scream. His bare paw, wounded by the ice blades, instantly releases its grip on Cindy's wrist. The next second, the mist dissipates. Blake, Luna, and Shadow have already arrived nearby. My lady, are you all right? Cindy, breaking free from the bear man's grasp, stumbles and loses her balance, falling toward the ground. Shadow's figure flickers as he steadily catches her in his arms. His other hand ruthlessly waves, sending countless ice blades slashing toward the bear man. Blake, furious with blazing eyes, clenches his fist and punches toward the bear man's fleshy face with overwhelming force. Luna also waves his fingers, releasing flames that engulf the bear man. Seeing the situation turning bad, the bear man throws a black hole smoke bomb and disappears on the spot. Luna frowns, looking at Shadow. Third-tier abilities. Illusion and escape. No wonder we couldn't detect him. Cindy, still shaken, steadies herself in Shadow's arms. She feels as if he's wrapped in a murderous aura, his body temperature colder than usual. Don't move, Shadow speaks in a low voice, his cold eyes glancing toward where the bear man escaped. His ice-blue pupils are filled with fierce killing intent. Luna gently takes Cindy's wrist to examine it. My lady, let me check. Good, no injuries. He takes out a disinfectant wipe from his space ring and gently cleans her wrist. Blake is both annoyed and self-reproachful. Sorry, my lady. We were careless just now. It's okay. He had third-tier abilities and created an illusion. There was no way to detect it. Cindy's emotions gradually stabilize. Should we go to the supermarket? Alright. This time, Luna and Blake protectively flank Cindy on both sides, while Shadow follows behind, radiating cold, murderous intent. The supermarket isn't far. When the three arrive, Timothy and Cecil have also just arrived. Cindy doesn't know why, but the moment she sees Timothy, her eyes redden and she throws herself directly into the man's arms. What's wrong? Timothy reaches up to ruffle her hair, bending down to give her a gentle kiss. Smelling the faint ocean scent on her, ripples flash through the man's calm heart. Luna and Blake are accustomed to their intimacy. Cecil feels sour inside and silently looks away. Cindy presses her lips together. Nothing, she just suddenly missed him, but she's too embarrassed to say this out loud. The man beside her, listening to her thoughts, curves his lips slightly. A flash of satisfied and pleased smile crosses his face. Luna inquires, "Did you get the house and car?" Timothy's palm now holds a silver-gray space ring. Got them. 1 master bedroom, 5 secondary bedrooms with a garden and balcony. The lighting is excellent. No longer that cold, damp, and dark like before. I also bought some decorations for my lady and had some renovations done, which took some time. We can move in when we get home later. Hearing this, Cindy is delighted. Can I plant flowers, grass, and vegetables? Of course. If my lady likes it, we can buy some seeds and seedlings at the supermarket later. However, Darkstar's climate and soil conditions aren't good, so keeping them alive might be difficult. Cindy understands. No wonder vegetables were so much more expensive than meat at the restaurant earlier. My lady, I got the car too. Cecil glances at Blake and the others. Where's Shadow? Why don't I see him? Blake suddenly turns around, urgently scanning the surroundings. Wasn't he just behind us? Luna remains calm. Maybe he went to the bathroom. Dead snake disappearing again. After Cindy finishes complaining quietly, a strong sense of unease suddenly floods her heart. Her spine chills as she stiffly turns her head. Sure enough, an ice-blue small snake is coiled on her right shoulder, its ice-blue vertical pupils staring at her with an indescribably eerie expression. Although she was mentally prepared, Cindy still jumps up like she's been burned. Luna and Blake are startled by her sudden reaction. They instinctively look around, then ask with puzzled expressions, "My lady, what's wrong?" Nothing. Cindy pants heavily. Gritting her teeth, she glares fiercely at the small snake motionlessly stuck to her shoulder, only to discover the snake seems to have instantly closed its eyes and fallen asleep. Its crystal-clear appearance actually looks somewhat like an exquisite jade sculpture. Right, just think of it as a decoration, a mini figurine. With this thought, Cindy's previously tense and fearful emotions finally calm down gradually. Timothy, understanding the situation, quickly walks over and gently takes her hand, then looks at Cecil. "Can you change this snake's color?" Cecil pauses. "Change color? Like gold, sand gold texture. Something that doesn't look so cold and terrifying." Cecil realizes what he means but hesitates. "I can do it, but are you worried Shadow will get angry when he finds out?" Luna guesses Cecil's concern. Cecil nods, looking somewhat troubled. This is his personal property after all. He's the rightful owner. I should at least ask his opinion first before making changes. Not to mention that the venomous snake absolutely won't allow others to touch his belongings even slightly. Blake becomes anxious. "But my lady is afraid of snakes. Look what he's done to scare my lady." Cecil thinks for a moment and nods. "Then I'll try first. We'll discuss it when he returns." Cecil raises his hand to activate his metal-type ability. A flash of light, and a sand-gold-textured golden small snake appears on Cindy's shoulder. Timothy gently squeezes Cindy's palm and asks tenderly, "Are you still afraid now?" Cindy looks at the golden little snake. Her previous fear instantly vanishes without a trace. Not afraid anymore. Seeing the girl's happy expression, Timothy gently reminds her, "Then let's go in." Blake and Luna quickly step forward to get several shopping carts. Upon entering the supermarket, Cindy is immediately attracted to the display area with its brilliant starry sky background and futuristic items. Timothy scans around and asks considerately, "What would my lady like to buy first?" Luna suggests, "My lady seems to really like ancient earth food. We can go directly to the food section and vegetable area to choose some vegetables, meat, and seasonings." Cindy nods happily. "Okay, let's go to the food section first." 4 handsome husbands follow behind her as they head toward the food section in grand fashion. Cindy is completely unaware that as they walk, the golden small snake sleeping on her shoulder suddenly opens its eyes with a flash. Those ice-blue vertical pupils are instantly filled with crimson, cold, and vicious. She emerges from the store with many shopping bags, in the company of her 4 husbands. She thoroughly enjoys the experience of having 4 tall and handsome companions shop with her, combined with the joy of being free to pay for it all. Alright, this account is cleared. Bring on the next one. Cindy grabs Luna's wrist and places it on the payment interface, her pretty doe eyes curving into crescents with laughter. Seeing this, Blake quickly extends his arm. "My lady, you can swipe mine now, right?" "Yes." Cindy drops Luna's wrist and skillfully grabs Blake's sleeve. "Sorry, your account balance is also 0. Cindy looks at Blake with a mischievous smile. Blake pats his chest. "No problem. When the credits and star coins are gone, I can earn more. My lady's happiness is most important." "Blake, you're so good to me." Cecil glances at him resentfully. My lady has never praised me like that. He secretly exchanged 2 rare gems from his fan for a pile of star coins to buy her lots of beautiful jewelry, but hasn't had a chance to show her yet. Luna smiles gently and reminds her warmly, "My lady, don't forget, you need to treat everyone fairly." Cindy coughs lightly, looking at her husbands with curved eyes and a sweet smile. "All of you are wonderful." "I thank you all." Blake scratches his head with an honest smile. "My lady doesn't need to be polite." Cecil turns to glare at the talkative Luna. Timothy watches the joyful girl with an indulgent smile. "The space ring I gave you before could buy thousands of supermarkets like this, yet I've never seen you this happy." "Ah, was it that valuable? Then I can't accept it," Cindy exclaims and hurriedly tries to remove the ring. "I'm teasing you." The man reaches out to press her small hands. "Remember what I told you?" "I remember." Timothy leans down slightly, bringing his face close to hers. "Then please repeat it, my lady." "Childish." Timothy curves his lips. "So my lady forgot so quickly?" "I didn't say it." The girl presses her lips together, her voice as quiet as a mosquito. "Without your permission, I'm not allowed to take it off." The man nods with satisfaction, flicking her forehead as a threat. "Next time you talk about removing it, I'll punish you." Blake interjects, "My lady, I'll put all these things in the space ring." "Don't. Let me do it. I want to take them one by one to feel the sense of accomplishment." Cindy walks over with small steps. She takes items from the shopping cart one by one, then categorizes and stores them in the space ring piece by piece. Blake and Cecil stand on her left and right, handing her items. Timothy and Luna stand nearby, seemingly chatting casually, but both unconsciously focus their gazes on her. Luna narrows his eyes and nudges Timothy. "First Prince, the way you look at my lady seems quite genuine, not like acting at all." Timothy raises an eyebrow and glances at him, displeasure flashing in his eyes. "How do you know I'm not sincere?" "If I remember correctly, except for Cecil, First Prince met my lady for the first time at the marriage registration, same as us. But I always feel First Prince has some inexplicable feelings for my lady." Luna pauses. "But this is just my personal intuition. If I'm wrong, please don't take offense, First Prince." Timothy glances at the girl with a bright smile nearby, his words meaningful. "How do you know I haven't known my lady longer than Cecil?" Luna makes an "oh" sound and probes again. "Since the day my lady suddenly changed her personality, First Prince's attitude toward her has been obviously different from before. Does First Prince have some secret you haven't told us?" Timothy's expression remains unperturbed. "No." "Really?" Luna's eyes flash with suspicion as he quickly reaches out and grabs Timothy's right palm, looking at the red crescent moon remaining on his palm, and can't help but smile. "If I remember correctly, First Prince has spent at least 4 nights alone with my lady in her room, yet you still maintain your chastity. Is this what First Prince calls true love? Could it be that First Prince has some hidden condition in that area, or perhaps Luna's words?" Are cut off by Timothy's stern interruption. "Insolent. Don't forget, we are beastmen, not beasts." Luna is momentarily speechless, his fluffy silver wolf ears drooping. Sorry, First Prince. I spoke too rashly. Moreover, if there really was something wrong, do you think you could just grab my hand and examine my palm with your strength alone?" The man dismisses with a cold snort. Luna's gaze sharpens. Timothy's tone takes on a more oppressive quality. "I don't want to hear such words and suspicions a second time." Luna, knowing he's in the wrong, speaks with increasing deference. "Yes, First Prince. Also, there's something I must clarify with you." Timothy glances at him, his tone carrying a warning. "Since you and Blake have no romantic feelings for her whatsoever, please remember the responsibilities your families entrusted to you during your time together. Fulfill your duties. Maintain appropriate distance from her, and don't carelessly provoke her." Luna's silver pupils dim slightly. "Then may I ask, First Prince, what about Shadow?" He pauses. "First Prince's only brother doesn't seem to dislike and despise my lady as much as he appears on the surface. How should First Prince handle this?" Timothy looks at the girl over there, who's storing the last red cherry tomato in her space ring with a brilliant smile. "That's my lady's own business. No need for you to worry about it." After speaking, he puts on a gentle smile and strides toward the girl. "All packed?" Timothy asks tenderly, reaching up to fix her slightly messy hair. The girl's eyes curve into crescents, sparkling brightly. "Yes, all packed." Timothy takes out a bottle of water from his space, unscrewing the cap. "Drink some water." Cindy takes a sip and looks surprised. "It's actually warm." Timothy nods. "Drinking cold water is bad for your health." Blake looks at Cecil, then at Timothy, suddenly feeling like he's missing something. Luna walks over. "I just asked about Shadow. He'll be here soon. Let's wait for him before we leave together." Timothy nods. "All right." Blake looks at Luna, then suddenly feels like he's not missing anything after all. Soon, Shadow's handsome, upright figure appears in the distance, though radiating cold aura. When they meet, Blake asks, "Shadow, where did you go just now?" "Took care of some personal business." Shadow finishes speaking, his gaze stopping on the golden small snake that has turned golden on Cindy's shoulder. "Hideous. What's hideous about it? The previous one nearly scared my lady to death. This golden, shiny one brings wealth and prosperity. Much better." Cecil walks over, not forgetting to mock back. "My lady is extremely afraid of snakes." Didn't you know that? Cindy also mutters quietly. Right. Even if the bad guys don't kill me, you'll scare me to death. Shadow coldly glances at her with sarcastic tone. No, you'll die from your own stupidity. After speaking, he lightly hooks his hand, and the small snake instantly appears in his palm. His pale, slender fingers curve slightly, and a snake that rivals real gold appears. Ah, so beautiful! Cindy exclaims at the sight of the golden snake. Shadow, I didn't expect you to be so skilled. Blake marvels. Shadow, turns out you're quite the craftsman. Cecil is also shocked. How did you do that? Did you just awaken metal-type abilities? Timothy glances at him meaningfully but says nothing. Trivial tricks. Shadow speaks coldly, his peripheral vision catching sight of the space ring Timothy gave Cindy on her hand. He grabs her other hand and forcefully slips the golden snake bracelet on. The bracelet quickly adjusts its size, almost fusing with Cindy's pale wrist. Cindy's pupils contract sharply, but she quickly calms down. This golden snake feels identical to real gold. You can clearly transform. Why did you have to scare me before? Wanted to know? Shadow looks at the huffing girl and crooks his finger at her. Cindy curiously leans her face closer. Shadow, hands in pockets, bends down and whispers devilishly in her ear, because your fear excites me. After speaking, he suddenly laughs sinisterly. Cindy gets even angrier. You pervert! Shadow completely ignores her cursing, coldly dropping a line before turning and striding toward the exit. Cindy, I advise you to wear it properly and don't take it off or it will bite you to death. Cecil stands frozen throughout, his hair standing on end with anger. He carefully selected beautiful necklaces and bracelets but hasn't had a chance to give them yet, and now Cindy's left and right hands are already claimed by others. The key issue is that Shadow doesn't even like my lady but still comes to torment her. He's truly hogging the spotlight without contributing. Blake is somewhat puzzled by Shadow's behavior, turning to look at Timothy. I think you might need to get Shadow medical attention. Luna quietly watches Shadow's retreating figure, glancing at Timothy from the corner of his eye, saying nothing. Timothy doesn't respond. His gaze pauses slightly on the bracelet around Cindy's wrist before he takes her hand. All right, let's go home. Dead snake, dead pervert. Cindy walks while quietly cursing. Timothy watches the fuming girl, his eyes dark and unreadable. By the time they exit the mall again, the sun has set in the west. The 5 men's light brain accounts are nearly drained of credits and star coins. Cindy is somewhat gleeful. Great, now all 6 of us are broke. Not really, my lady. I actually still have some money, but it's been frozen, Cecil quickly explains. Shadow delivers the final blow. At least we're not like someone who owes tens of trillions in debt, plus an entire planet. Cindy glares at Shadow. What's wrong with owing money? I'm happy about it. I enjoy it. From another perspective, the reason the original soul who committed heinous crimes wasn't immediately executed was most likely because of owing too much debt. After all, if the original soul really died, the galaxy would be left with a huge pile of bad debt with no one to shoulder it. Now, with such an enormous debt hanging over her head, it's actually become a life-saving charm. With this thought, Cindy suddenly feels much better inside. She unconsciously tightens her grip on Timothy's arm. Blake looks at Shadow, then at Cindy and nudges Luna. What's wrong with my lady and Shadow today? They keep fighting. If they continue arguing like this, they might actually start fighting, right? Luna glances at Cindy, who's being affectionate with Timothy. Fighting shows care, scolding shows love. Pulling and tugging means romance. They're probably frenemies. Straightforward Blake looks completely confused. The 6 head toward the Galactic Prison Town security checkpoint exit. Just as they reach the base of a tower, a loud crash sounds from behind them, followed by screams from the surrounding crowd. Cindy instinctively turns around. When she sees a giant human-shaped ice block covered in fresh blood on the ground, her breathing stops. With a sizzling crack, the ice block shatters. The intense stench of corpse flowers and blood flows around with the ice water. People cover their mouths and noses with another round of screams. The dead figure is a bare man with no clothing covering him. His distinctive male anatomy has been cut and shredded by serrated weapons, only connected by a thin strip of blood-stained skin to prevent complete separation. Cindy's eyes dim slightly as she glances at Shadow from the corner of her eye. The latter's sinister expression remains cold, looking at the corpse like he's viewing a pile of garbage. Cindy instantly understands. He wanted her to know. Don't look. Timothy extends his large hand to pull her into his embrace. This. Blake angrily clenches his fist. Isn't that the beast? What do you mean? Timothy raises an eyebrow and glances at him. Luna doesn't want Timothy to know about the danger Cindy encountered. Nothing, just a crazy person we met on the road earlier. After speaking, he also checks Shadow's violence level. It's higher than before, though it seems the others haven't noticed. Cecil suggests, let's go. If we don't leave now, it'll be dark. Timothy frowns slightly, almost imperceptibly, but after catching sight of Cindy's complex expression as she stares at Shadow, he quietly looks away. The 6 of them pass through the security checkpoint one by one. Timothy wraps his arm around Cindy, holding her close. More vagrant men have gathered outside the small town, and the other 4 men instinctively form a protective circle around the couple, front, back, left, and right. When they reach an open area, Cecil takes out the newly purchased vehicle. Looking at the car that's as big as a Type A RV, Cindy is stunned. Cecil, how many seats does this have? Cecil gives gives a bashful smile. 9 seats. 9 seats? Cindy is surprised. But there are only 6 of us. Lady, 9 seats are more spacious, Cecil says with a helpless, bitter smile. After all, I don't want to end up hanging on the roof getting blown by cold wind again due to bad luck for other reasons. Cindy feels speechless inside. Luna takes the car keys from Cecil. It's getting dark. I'll be responsible for driving, Blake says. Then I'll take the passenger seat and help you keep watch. Cecil looks at Cindy, about to speak, but Timothy beats him to it. The lady and I will sit alone in the back. Cecil, half a beat slower, bristles with anger for a second, but seeing the fatigue on Cindy's face, he silently swallows his words. As soon as Cindy sits down, she nestles into Timothy's arms and falls asleep immediately. Your arms are so hard, the girl complains, shifting in his embrace. Timothy looks down adoringly. In the blink of an eye, he partially transforms into his tiger form, his furry arms embracing her, and he enlarges and lightens his big furry tail several times over, covering her with it like a blanket. Luna drives very steadily and not too fast. By the time everyone returns home, the sky has already darkened. Timothy carries Cindy into the house. Let's rest tonight and move tomorrow. That works. Luna glances at the sky. The clouds are thick tonight. I don't know if the moon will come out. I'll take the night watch. Blake nods. Then I'll go check the dungeon first. When my time is up, I'll come up and take over from you. Shadow, full of murderous aura, glances at Timothy and Cindy, then walks straight to the sofa and sits down, closing his eyes. Cindy wakes up at this moment. She jumps down from Timothy's arms, covers her mouth with her hand and yawns. I'm going to sleep. Good night, my dear brothers. Who's your brother? Shadow looks at her with disdain, his tone impatient. Don't include me when you call people brother in the future. Blake raises his hand. If you won't do it, I will. Luna also raises his hand. Count me in too. Cecil pouts. I'm clearly the younger brother, the lady's little fanboy. Shadow snorts coldly, sweeping his gaze over the 3 of them. Brain dead. After speaking, his gaze stops on Cindy's face. Cindy, did you remember what I said earlier? If you didn't remember, watch out or I'll bite you to death. He lifts his lips in a malicious smile, revealing 2 sharp, venomous fangs. I remembered. Stop showing your teeth, or you'll poison yourself, Cindy says irritably, rolling her eyes at him before turning to leave. Just as she takes half a step, 2 hands grab hers tightly, one in front and one behind. Cecil looks both resentful and expectant. Lady, I still have gifts to give you. The lady is tired. Whatever it is can wait until tomorrow, Timothy says in a deep voice, then suppresses his emotions and asks the girl gently, Lady, surely you haven't forgotten about sleeping with me tonight? Cindy's heart skips a beat. Sure enough, there's no escaping what can't be escaped. She secretly rubs her fingers, her mind racing to think of strategies. Luna's sharp gaze moves between Timothy and Cindy's faces, looking like he's enjoying the show with thoughtful interest. The man leans down and whispers something in her ear. The girl nods somewhat shyly. Suddenly, with a buzzing sound, Timothy's light computer on his wrist vibrates. He stands up and opens it, his deep golden eyes immediately darkening, and his originally gentle water-like gaze instantly fills with a layer of cold-killing intent. Cindy doesn't know what he saw, but she only feels the air pressure and temperature in the room suddenly plummet. The man coldly lifts his eyes and glances at Cecil and Shadow, then gently looks away, picks up the confused girl, and heads straight upstairs. Cindy's lips move slightly, and she says in a small voice, I can walk by myself. Timothy forcibly suppresses the towering rage in his heart, looking at the girl in his arms with eyes full of heartache. Hold me tight. Cindy frowns. She can clearly feel his body trembling slightly. What's wrong? The girl reaches out to wrap her arms around his neck, her watery deer-like eyes full of worry as she gazes at him, trying to read something from his face. The man only smiles gently. Nothing. He changes the subject. By the way, we didn't have dinner today. Lady, are you hungry? On the way back to the city, they did drink some nutritional liquid, but they bought many fresh ingredients from the supermarket. If she's hungry, he could go downstairs and learn a thing or two from Luna, who's skilled at cooking. Thinking of the last time she said she was hungry and ended up being carried to the sofa, Cindy quickly shakes her head like a rattled drum. Not hungry. Meanwhile, Cecil watches the 2 go upstairs intimately, his head drooping down like a frost-beaten eggplant in disappointment. I'm going to check the dungeon. Blake casually greets everyone and heads straight to the dungeon. Luna looks at Shadow, whose eyes have darkened and transformed into snake form, then at Cecil. His gaze finally stops on Cecil's face. What did you send Timothy earlier? Cecil looks up in surprise. How do you know it was me? Because in the entire room, only you and he touched your light computers. Cecil is silent for a moment before speaking quietly. I briefly told him about what the lady experienced this afternoon. Luna frowns, looking at him thoughtfully. I didn't expect it. You're quite scheming. But you bet correctly. Cindy was molested by the bear man. And although it didn't succeed, it will definitely leave bad psychological shadows for a short time. Whether it's Cecil or Timothy, if they really care about Cindy, they probably won't have too much intimate contact with her in this situation. If it weren't for Cindy looking exhausted, and that bear man already being killed by Shadow, Timothy would most likely have flown into a rage and gone back to kill him, grinding his bones to dust, or taken his anger out on them for not protecting her well enough. But now that things have come to this, he probably doesn't want to reopen Cindy's memory scars. Cecil looks at Luna, a trace of guilt in his pink-orange eyes. Is what I did a bit selfish? I've never been in love, so I can't judge, Luna says, glancing at Shadow, who's coiled up and pretending to sleep. I'll go guard outside. Don't overthink it. Cecil glances upstairs and gets up to wash up. As he passes the stairway entrance, he pauses slightly, hearing the door lock click shut upstairs. Cecil's heart clenches painfully. Timothy carries Cindy into the room and gently places her on the sofa. Seeing her exhausted state, he asks gently, "Would you like to wash yourself later, or shall I help you?" Cindy's face turns red. "I'll do it myself." "All right, then I'll prepare for you." Timothy gets up and goes into the bathroom. Cindy watches his back, her gaze slightly dazed. She just feels that Timothy is acting strange tonight. If it were any other night after going upstairs and closing the door, he would definitely give her a domineering, passionate kiss. But just now, he only casually and gently ruffled her hair, and didn't specifically request to wash together with her. Although she can't figure it out, Cindy's heart still feels relieved. After a while, the man comes out. "It's ready. I'll be outside. Call me if you need anything." "Okay, thank you." Cindy walks into the bathroom with hesitant steps. It's not until she lies down in the bathtub, letting the warm water flow over her entire body, that her nerves finally begin to completely relax. After washing up, Cindy comes out wrapped in a bath towel. Looking at the scene in the room, the girl's gaze narrows. The warm yellow floor lamp by the window is lit, casting a soft halo on the genuine leather single sofa. Timothy sits leisurely with his long legs crossed, one hand casually resting on the armrest, his cold, pale, slender fingers gently turning the pages of an ancient book. The man's profile is sharply defined, and beneath his high nose bridge, his thin lips are slightly pursed. When reading, his long eyelashes flutter gently, and his focused expression makes it impossible to look away. His whole being radiates a noble and charming aura. Cindy quietly watches him, not wanting to disturb him with her voice. The man seems to sense something. His slender fingers gently close the book, and his brilliant golden eyes turn to look at her. The originally focused, somewhat cold and deep gaze in his eyes becomes gentle and doting the moment it meets the girl's. He curves the corner of his mouth in a gentle smile. "Lady, finished?" Cindy hums in response. "Could you help me get the hairdryer?" Previously, Cecil had helped her blow-dry her hair, and after finishing, whether intentionally or not, he placed it in a very high location. Of course, Timothy closes the ancient book and stores it in his space, suppressing the undercurrents in his heart. As he gets up and walks toward her, the man's fingers gently and tenderly weave through her silky black hair continuously. "Lady, were you happy today?" "Yes, happy." "Were you happy?" "If the lady is happy, then I'm happy." The man conceals the emotions in his heart and changes the subject. "I just received a message from Luna saying he'll try making ancient earth breakfast for the lady tomorrow morning." The girl's eyes immediately light up. "Really?" "Yes." The man chuckles softly. "Little glutton. Looks like I'll have to learn from him after all." "What?" There's an old saying in the interstellar world. To capture the lady's heart, you must first capture her stomach. The man's fingers pause in blow-drying her hair, and he says teasingly, "I wouldn't want the lady to accidentally have her heart stolen by someone else." Cindy feels speechless inside. "All right, I'm just teasing you." Seeing the girl's slightly embarrassed expression, he quickly explains, "Don't worry, I won't do that again in the future." The girl extends her index finger to his lips, manually muting him. "I understand." "Understand everything?" Timothy's deep gaze is full of sincerity. "Then may I ask the lady, can I sleep on the bed tonight?" The girl nods shyly. "Yes." Just when Cindy thinks he'll immediately lie down, the man reaches out to help her pull the covers up gently. "Then lady should sleep first. I'll go wash up." "Okay." Cindy nods obediently, watching him turn and walk into the bathroom. The door closes, and the sound of the shower can be heard. Cindy clutches the blanket with both hands, staring at the ceiling with wide eyes, her heart both nervous and expectant. Although he said he wouldn't do anything, this kind of thing, forget it, it's going to happen sooner or later anyway. Death is death, might as well go all out. But should she act gentle and shy later, or proactive and bold? Thinking and thinking, Cindy still feels she's not ready, just as she's lost in wild thoughts. Her eyelids grow heavier and heavier, and she slowly closes her eyes. Timothy finishes his cold shower. The heat in his heart and body finally subsides. He dries his hair and tiptoes out of the bathroom, glancing around the room. The girl has already turned on her side and fallen asleep, her slender, delicate body curled up in the corner of the bed. A flash of helplessness and heartache crosses the man's eyes. He gently removes his glasses and carefully lifts the covers to slip in. In her daze, Cindy feels the bed behind her sink heavily, and a warm, large hand gently embraces her slender waist, tenderly pulling her into his arms. Her spine, separated only by thin silk, presses against a warm, solid, and smooth chest. The faint scent of snow pine lingers at her nose tip. This scent makes her feel at peace and very safe. She unconsciously turns around and burrows into his arms, murmuring dreamily, "Want to touch the tail." Looking at the adorable girl, the man's lips curve in an indulgent, mischievous smile. He asks softly, "The front one or the back one?" The girl hums and mumbles indistinctly, The back one. Want the fluffy one, not the prickly one. All right. The man can't help but smile, tenderly in response. A fluffy tail emerges from under the blanket, gently coiling around the girl's wrist and placing it on his chest over his heart. He pulls her closer into his arms, gently nuzzles the top of her head with his chin, and places a deep kiss on the crown of her head. Good night, Cindy. In her sleep, Cindy suddenly jolts awake. She opens her eyes and finds herself suddenly in a strange place. A vast, starry sky floating with the wreckage of entire aircraft, metal fragments glittering in the starlight, sparks crackling with electricity. Cindy looks around in terror, only then discovering she's running on a miraculous road formed by converging galaxies, stars flickering and flowing beneath her feet. Each step she takes feels like treading on the edge of danger. Suddenly, the starry sky ahead tears open, and a huge black vortex slowly appears. Light bends at the edge of the black hole. Star's radiance is swallowed, emitting an eerie glow. Great, Cindy! The space-time black hole has opened! You leave first! A little boy's crisp voice calls from behind her. Only then does Cindy notice she's being tightly held by a small hand, and her own hand has also become small. She wants to turn around to see the boy's face clearly, but everything before her eyes is blurry, and she can't see anything. Behind the boy, dense shadows of monsters loom indistinctly. Although she can't see their forms clearly, they send chills down her spine. Cindy, leave quickly! The boy's voice is brave, urgent, and determined. Cindy says uncontrollably, no, brother, let's go together. Just then, demonic roars and shouts come from behind, and laser beams fly overhead. The little boy suddenly pushes Cindy behind him, pulling her desperately toward the black hole. As they approach the black hole, a powerful gravitational force grabs hold of them. Cindy feels like her body is about to be torn into pieces. Hold on to me, the little boy shouts. The two grip each other's hands tightly, but the gravitational pull grows stronger and stronger, and they fall uncontrollably toward the center of the black hole. I almost forgot, the space-time black hole can only let one person through at a time. I'm sorry, Cindy, I failed to protect you. The little boy's voice trembles. After speaking, he pulls out the hand wearing the space ring and bites it at his lips. In the next second, two golden streams of light flash, like two transparent human-shaped airbags, gently enveloping their bodies. Cindy, take care of yourself in the new world. Brother, aren't you coming with me? Cindy doesn't know why she asks this question. The boy's eyes are red, with both despair and hope in them. No, there must be a connection left here, otherwise you can never return. Cindy's heart aches inexplicably. But I'm afraid you'll die. Cindy, trust me, I won't die. I'll wait for you, always wait for you. After the boy speaks, he suddenly yanks her hand away, then pushes the girl into the black vortex with his small hand. I'm sorry, Cindy. The boy chokes up. A blinding blue laser instantly pierces through his heart. Brother! Cindy's eyes widen. She opens her mouth wanting to cry out and struggle, but is quickly swallowed by the black vortex and gradually loses consciousness. Crystal tears slide down from the corners of the girl's eyes. Brother! The girl frowns tightly, sobbing softly. The man suddenly opens a pair of brilliant golden eyes. Seeing the tears at the corners of the girl's eyes, he gently raises his hand and tenderly wipes them clean with his fingertip. Brother! Cindy murmurs softly. Sleep, Cindy. Accompanied by the man's low voice, a faint, reassuring scent of snow pine slowly envelops Cindy. The fragrance grows stronger and stronger, like a warm, broad embrace holding her tighter and tighter. She breathes in the scent, burrows deeper into Timothy's arms, her brow gradually smoothing as she falls asleep again. The next day, when Cindy wakes up, Timothy is still sleeping with his eyes closed. She secretly checks the condition of the daughter flower inside her body. It's the same as yesterday, with no progress. Her mental power is still F level. She can't help but breathe, a sigh of relief. Looking at that golden, sculpted, noble, handsome face, she can't resist reaching out her finger to gently trace along his high nose bridge. The man's breathing is steady, and he doesn't move. Cindy guesses he must be too tired from the previous day. After all, he carried her for several hours and was busy all day. Thinking this, she becomes bolder. Her fingertip slides past his nose tip and gently caresses his thin lips. Just as she's about to reach up to touch his Adam's apple, the man suddenly opens his mouth and gently bites her finger. The certain someone with lustful thoughts but no lustful courage reflexively shrinks down, but is caught steadily by the well-prepared man. Good morning. The man holds her slender finger and brings it to his lips for a gentle kiss. Then he curves up the corner of his mouth and asks with a smile, Lady, did you sleep well last night? In the man's brilliant golden eyes that contain vast stars, the reflection of the girl's blushing face fills them completely. Last night, Cindy recalls some fragments, her face becoming even redder. She seems to have fallen asleep touching the fluffy tiger tail, and seems to have said some inappropriate things. Slept very well. How about you? Cindy shyly hides in his arms. I slept well too, but Timothy reaches out to ruffle her hair and asks tentatively, Lady, did you have nightmares last night? Nightmares? Cindy thinks back, her eyes somewhat confused. Speaking of dreams, I did seem to have a dream, but I can't remember what it was about no matter how hard I try. She only feels like her memory and heart are somehow missing a piece, empty and aching faintly. Cindy shakes her head. I can't remember. A nameless emotion flashes through Timothy's heart, but his face still shows a gentle smile. Then lady, do you want to get up now? What time is it? 9 o'clock interstellar time. Cindy rubs her sleepy eyes. Still a bit tired. The several husbands whose point and star coin accounts were cleared to zero by her yesterday need to go mining after breakfast today to complete their designated designated labor reform tasks and earn new points. She does want to confirm the divorce agreement signing with several people, but she plans to wait until everyone returns tonight to discuss it. Timothy looks at her lazy appearance and can't help but smile. Then sleep a bit more. I'll get up first. Cindy responds vaguely and turns around, preparing to continue sleeping. Before her eyes can close, she's pulled back by the man's large hand. Timothy leans over her, supporting himself with one arm on the bed, his other hand pinching her chin, his deep golden eyes staring at her, the corners of his lips slightly upturned. Lady, did you forget something? The warm breath blows on Cindy's face, making her heart tighten. She suddenly remembers that men usually have more vigorous energy in the morning. Timothy, hearing her thoughts, finds it both amusing and exasperating. What on earth goes through your little head all day long? Cindy doesn't catch the oddness in his words and becomes even more bewildered. Forget what? Shall I tell you? Just as Cindy instinctively tenses her body and closes her legs tightly, Timothy grips her chin tightly and kisses her. Good morning kiss, good night kiss. Lady, don't forget them in the future. Cindy purses her lips, feeling relieved inside. When she wakes up again, Timothy has already left. A gorgeous split-style long dress inlaid with colorful pearls is folded neatly at the head of the bed. It's one of the several dresses Timothy chose for her at the mall yesterday. Cindy reaches out to pick it up. The dress seems freshly washed and dried. After washing up and changing into the dress, she goes downstairs. The living room is empty, but an enticing aroma of food drifts from the kitchen. Cindy's eyes brighten. She walks straight toward the kitchen. Just as she reaches the doorway, she sees a tall, straight, athletic figure busying himself at the stove. It's Luna. Looking at him, Cindy's mind suddenly recalls Luna's personal profile. Luna, Cancer, sensitive, meticulous, homely. But his original form is also a silver wolf, so he's observant and suspicious. Usually, he appears calm as water and often wears a faint smile, very much like the boy next door. But only Cindy knows he's actually one of the 3 most scheming among the 5 husbands. His attitude toward her, judging from their interactions over the past few days, is neither cold nor warm, with some care, but more based on their essential husband identity. Thinking this, Cindy secretly takes a deep breath and steps into the kitchen. Sensing her arrival, the fluffy ears on top of Luna's head twitch as he turns around. Lady, you're awake? Yes. Cindy also smiles brightly and asks him, where is everyone? Luna's hand holding the chopsticks pauses. They went mining. Cecil and I stayed behind to protect the lady today. Usually leaving one husband at home is enough, but after yesterday's bear man incident, the several husbands are all afraid of another accident happening. Plus, Luna was on guard duty for most of the night. After everyone discussed it this morning, they let him stay home to rest. However, Luna knows in his heart that Timothy doesn't feel comfortable leaving Cecil alone at home with Cindy. Cindy turns her head to look at the living room but doesn't see Cecil. Where's Cecil? He should be checking in at the dungeon. Cindy makes an O sound and walks to his side, looking at the noodles in the pot. She's pleasantly surprised. Are you preparing to cook noodles? I'm preparing to make scallion and egg noodles for the lady. Luna stirs the noodles. I don't know how to make anything too complicated, but I remember that ancient Earth humans really liked this breakfast. I don't know if the lady likes it. As he speaks, his gaze falls on Cindy's face, with a trace of barely detectable scrutiny in his eyes. Cindy blurts out, I like it, super like it. The taste of home is always unforgettable. The taste of home? A trace of suspicion flashes in Luna's eyes. Realizing she spoke too quickly, Cindy smiles calmly with curved eyes. Fragrant, meaning fragrant with spices. Didn't Blake say yesterday that ancient Earth food has too many spices? Luna's lips curve slightly, seeming to smile but not quite. I see. Can I help you with anything? Cindy changes the subject. Luna picks up an egg and cracks it into a bowl, handing her the bowl and egg beater. Then please help me beat this egg. Okay. Cindy reaches out to take it and starts beating seriously. The lady's beating technique seems a bit wrong. Luna glances at her and turns down the heat, walking behind her. Before Cindy can react, he's already slowly leaned down, his broad, warm palm enveloping her small hand, demonstrating bit by bit. The lady should beat in one direction so the egg white and yolk can fully mix while reducing air bubbles. The thin calluses on his fingertips carry faint warmth and moisture, making one's heart inexplicably flutter. Has the lady learned? The man's broad chest draws even closer, his warm breath blowing on her ear, silver curls falling strand by strand on her shoulders, swaying with his movements, ticklish. Cindy's breath catches. Today's Luna is a bit off. It's not an illusion again, is it? But he has a faint scent of cypress, so it should be him. Lady? Learned? Then try it yourself, lady. Even as he says this, his hand shows no intention of letting go, instead gripping even tighter. Okay. Cindy takes a deep breath and beats the egg, but her mind is entirely on the warm body so close behind her. After a while, Luna finally lets go. Should be good now. Cindy hands him the bowl with a red face. Just as she turns her head and looks up, she meets Luna's somewhat intense gaze. That gaze is like fire, as if wanting to ignite her. The man has charming silver curls that fall casually on his broad shoulders. Combined with the fluffy wolf ears on his head, he looks unique and charming. He also has a flawless, handsome face. His facial lines are sharp, his features delicate yet masculine. Beneath his high nose bridge, his thin lips curve slightly upward, as if carrying a gentle smile. But that smile doesn't reach his eyes, giving one a slight chill. The pair of silver eyes looking at her now are like 2 clear, deep pools, profound and inscrutable. Whether intentional or not, 3 buttons of his cotton home clothes are unbuttoned. the collar slightly open, revealing his delicate collarbone. With his movements, the firm muscle lines of the man's chest are faintly visible. This is Cindy's first time seeing him at such close range. The man is very easy on the eyes, but this inexplicable, ambiguous atmosphere makes her somewhat at a loss. Cindy instinctively wants to leave from in front of him. Luna raises his arm and leans toward her. The lady seems a bit afraid of me and likes to avoid me. The warm breath sprays on her neck, making her whole body tremble. I don't. Cindy smiles calmly with curved eyes. She glances at the stove and points there. Those noodles seem to be done. Luna lightly touches with his finger, and the fire on the stove goes out. Cindy feels speechless. She forgot he has fire-type supernatural abilities. Luna narrows his slender eyes. He extends his arm and braces against the stove, trapping the slender, petite her in front of him. Really not? Cindy shakes her head in denial. Really not? After speaking, she secretly takes a breath and reaches up to touch his forehead. Are you feeling unwell anywhere today? The temperature isn't high, no fever, but he must be having some kind of episode. Just as she's about to lower her hand, Luna reaches out and grabs it. Cindy tries to pull her hand back, but he holds it tight like a clamp. A trace of confusion appears in her eyes as she pretends to look frightened. What are you trying to do? A hint of amusement flashes in Luna's eyes. The lady said our relationship is divorce partners. Does that still count now? Cindy is stunned, then nods like a pecking chicken. Of course, the lady also said that if we're lucky, our supernatural abilities and your mental power will improve together. Lady, do you remember the method for husbands and the lady to rapidly improve supernatural abilities and mental power? Cindy is stunned. She knows, of course. Although her memory is incomplete, this kind of thing. Timothy has hinted at it, both directly and indirectly, many times in her ear. Not to mention the daughter flower in her body has similar needs. Especially the first kiss and intimate acts have very strong benefits. But naturally, she can't say such things directly. You know, my memory, she naturally knows, but keeps saying she'll pretend to be confused to get by. Halfway through her words, Luna curves his lips in a smile. Since the lady has forgotten, I can show you through actions. As his words fall, he extends his arm and easily lifts Cindy to sit on the countertop. Cindy's pupils widen. This is the kitchen. You're not planning to. The kitchen isn't just for cooking. The man curves his lips in a smile, raising his hand to gently caress her cheek. His slightly calloused thumb rubs against her lips, then slowly slides toward her neck. Although there hasn't been much intimate contact yet, Luna is both strange and fresh to her. The daughter flower inside Cindy's body glows brightly. The man's head lowers more and more, until warm breath begins to blow on Cindy's face. Just then, a fluffy silver-white tail suddenly emerges from behind him. Cindy's eyes light up with delight. So you're a husky? This tail is so cute. I'm a wolf. The man's fingers pause helplessly, feeling like a row of crows is flying over his head, both amused and exasperated by her ridiculous reaction. Can I touch it? Cindy says, about to reach behind his waist. His tail is different from Timothy's. Timothy's tiger tail originally doesn't have much fur and isn't fluffy, but for her comfort experience, he specifically made it larger and fluffier, while Luna's is naturally fluffy, though he also intentionally enlarged it. The lady seems to get distracted easily. The man's voice is husky, as his tail extends and tightly coils around her outstretched wrist, pulling it back. So today's noodles won't be ready to eat. Lady! Luna raises his hand, gently covering her eyes with one hand while supporting her waist with the other, leaning down to kiss her fiercely. Cindy first stiffens, then slowly closes her eyes. Lady Luna, you're actually having an affair in the kitchen! Cecil's voice, full of shock and despair, comes from the kitchen doorway. Seeing the two people kissing passionately before his eyes, the magnetic plate containing the gemstone necklace in his hand crashes to the floor with a bang. The magnetic plate shatters all over the ground, and the young man's heart also shatters all over the ground. Luna pauses in his conquering movements. He pinches Cindy's chin with one hand and lightly touches her red lips. Only then does he raise his eyebrow and glance at Cecil indifferently, his tone carrying a hint of provocation. I'm also the lady's husband. How is this an affair? Cecil is stunned. Yes, Luna is also a husband. He had also righteously accused Timothy of this very thing the day before. At this moment, he suddenly understands the feeling Timothy had when he learned about him and Cindy kissing in the fitting room. Heart-wrenching, soul-crushing, with an intense, inexplicable depression and jealousy rampaging wildly inside, seeking an outlet but finding nowhere to vent. Cindy snaps back to reality from the passionate kiss. As soon as she turns her head, she meets Cecil's face written with shock, grievance, and dejection. She reacts and quickly reaches out to press down on Luna's large hand that's on her waist and skirt hem. She just makes one sound, trying to push Luna away, but the latter's large hand touching her skirt hem has already steadily cupped the back of her head, and an even deeper, more passionate kiss falls. My lady, don't get distracted. You guys. Seeing the two continue right in front of him, Cecil's peacock feathers all stand up bristling. His eyes instantly turn red, and without even picking up the scattered necklace on the ground, he gets up and stumbles away. Cindy tries again to forcefully push Luna away, but his broad, solid chest is like a towering mountain, completely unmovable. In her urgency, she bites down hard on his lip. Luna hisses in pain and finally releases her, but the tail coiled around her wrist shows no intention of letting go. Cindy glances toward the kitchen doorway, a trace of guilt flashing in her eyes. Can you let me go first, lady? Luna frowns slightly. If you abandon being intimate with me because you're angry about him, then I'll be angry too. Cindy feels speechless. She's a bit confused. confused by the kiss, and also confused by Luna's abnormal behavior. I need you to comfort me too. Luna lowers his head, his fluffy silver wolf ears nuzzling in Cindy's arms like a big dog seeking comfort. Isn't the lady supposed to be learning to keep everyone happy? And now I'm also the lady's husband, aren't I? Trust me, I won't be worse than them. I can make the lady more comfortable. Cindy reaches out to touch his fluffy ears. But Cecil, I know he grew up with the lady, and your relationship is indeed extraordinary. But now, we're all the lady's divorce partners with equal relationships, aren't we? His gaze is burning as he stares intently into Cindy's eyes. Whether now or when the interstellar prison welfare sentence reduction mission is released, I will do everything in my power to protect you well. I think the lady should understand that rather than maintaining and constraining with flimsy emotions, our cooperation is pure and frees the lady from emotional bondage, isn't it? We're currently only first-level supernatural abilities, and the lady's mental power is only F-level. But does the lady know how many 4th, 5th, and 6th-level men there are on this dark star? Although we don't know what the welfare sentence reduction mission specifically is, it's obvious that the final completers won't be everyone, only the outstanding ones among many criminals. So our opponents and enemies aren't just puppet corpses and mutant beasts, but also them. Yesterday's bear man was only 3rd-level supernatural ability, and not even an attack type, yet it required 4 of us working together to handle him. What if a group of 4th and 5th-level ones come? What if their backing includes women with even higher mental power? He leans slightly closer to Cindy, his low voice taking on a hint of pressure. So, the lady can't just have intimate contact with Timothy and Cecil based on feelings alone. The lady's 5 husbands should all share your attention equally, shouldn't they? After all, only when our overall strength improves can we have better chances of winning. Romance is just icing on the cake during this future period. Not help in times of need. Cindy falls silent. Luna's words make perfect sense, coinciding with her inner plans. It's just, she turns to look at the living room. Through the frosted glass gaps, she can vaguely see Cecil sitting on the sofa sulking. Didn't the lady notice that just now, my mental riot value dropped from 58 to 55? So lady, you're more excellent and have more unlimited potential than you imagine. Cindy looks away and gathers her thoughts, secretly checking. The daughter flower, supernatural ability, and mental power progress seem to have moved again, but like a snail, still haven't reached the upgrade threshold. Now the only one she hasn't kissed is Blake, but she suspects the result will be the same. So to upgrade, she can't miss any hugging, kissing, or intimate acts with the 5 husbands. Regarding the improvement of my supernatural ability and the lady's mental power, I'm very much looking forward to it. Luna gently cups Cindy's face with both hands, his eyes sincere and tender, but his voice several shades huskier. I look forward to the day when the lady and I can have more in-depth communication. He says the words in-depth communication very slowly, with deliberately drawn-out tones full of suggestive meaning. Cindy's face instantly turns red, but she doesn't want to let Luna see through her thoughts so easily. Thinking this, she reaches out to pry at Luna's tail, her voice gentle and soft. Can you let me down first? Yes, I hope the lady will think carefully about what I just said. After speaking, he changes the subject, a hint of cunning flashing in his narrow eyes. Forgot to ask, did the lady like my kiss? Cindy doesn't want to lie. I liked it. The man laughs pleasantly, leans down for a gentle kiss, then his fluffy tail slowly loosens and he steadily lifts her down. Cindy turns to leave, but just as she takes a step, the fluffy tail coils around her slender waist again, pulling her back into the man's solid, broad chest. After all, it was our first kiss. The lady only said she liked it. Doesn't she want to say something more? Cindy feels speechless inside. Confirmed, this wolf has issues today. Big issues. She suppresses her inner annoyance and forces a smile with curved eyes. Very good kissing technique. Have you kissed others before? As soon as she says this, she feels the daughter flower react very enthusiastically. Obviously, it was his first kiss, but his skill doesn't seem like a first kiss. The man smiles teasingly. Do fists count? After Luna speaks, he leans down slightly, his voice carrying ambiguous laughter as he whispers in her ear. Friendly reminder, the lady's dress seems to be wet. Cindy's face turns red with embarrassment and speechlessness. The man lifts his lips in a smile. I don't have any perverted hobbies. It's just that wolves naturally have sensitive noses. Then I'm going out. She steadies herself, places her hands on his shoulders, stands on her tiptoes to give him a polite, light kiss on his lips, then turns and quickly walks toward the living room. Luna extends his tongue to lick the remaining warmth on his lips and the wound she bit, watching the girl who was just passionately kissing him now leaving his embrace with a cold aura. He feels an inexplicable, strange emotion rise in his heart. Cindy walks to the kitchen doorway and picks up the scattered gemstone necklaces one by one. Suddenly, her light computer vibrates several times. It's a message from Timothy. Lady, we'll be mining outside all day today and won't be back until dinner time. Lady, rest well at home and wait for me to return. Be good. Cindy's heart warms. Be careful and safe. Waiting for you to return. After replying to the message, Cindy walks into the living room, planning to go upstairs first to change into a clean dress. Turning her head, she sees Cecil sitting angrily by the sofa, all his peacock feathers standing up like an exploded rainbow feather duster. Cecil. She hesitates for a moment, then slowly walks over and sits down beside him. Somehow, Cindy's heart fills with heartache and guilt. She thinks for a moment, and places the picked-up gemstone necklace in his hands. Cecil, please don't be angry anymore, okay? The lady only likes sweet words and 8-pack abs. Not the thoughtful gifts I prepare for the lady. Cecil throws the necklace aside, clenches his fists, and stands up abruptly, quickly walking to the floor-to-ceiling window. He stands tall, his eyes slightly red, looking out the window with disappointment and grievance. He doesn't not want to acknowledge Cindy. He's just so angry he's dizzy, and doesn't want her to see his current embarrassment. Cindy looks at his back, her heart inexplicably touched. Cecil's back is tall and straight, yet seems somewhat thin and lonely at this moment. She puts the gemstone necklace safely on the table, gets up, and walks toward him. Cecil, please don't be angry with me anymore, okay? Cindy extends both arms from behind, tightly hugging his waist, her head gently nuzzling against his back. Cecil's form suddenly stiffens, his fingers hanging at his sides slightly curling. An inexplicable emotion surges up, and crystal tears flash in his clear, water-like orange eyes. He tilts his face up slightly, trying hard not to let the tears fall. Cecil, don't be angry with me anymore, okay? The girl's voice becomes several shades more gentle. Cecil bites his lip and turns around, wrapping his arms around her in return. His voice chokes up, lady, I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with Luna. He's simply a big bad wolf in wolf's clothing. They say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But who would have thought the first one to raid the house would be the usually silent Luna? Shadow is fine, at least he hasn't made any excessive moves. But Luna clearly doesn't like the lady, yet still uses his charm to seduce the lady. The key is the lady fell for it. Cindy looks at his handsome face constantly changing with emotion, and finds it somewhat amusing inside. This puppy-like little brother is harder to coax than she imagined. She places one hand on his shoulder, stands on her tiptoes, and gently touches his face with her other hand, her eyes full of gentle smiles. Didn't you want to show me the gemstone necklace? How about we go to my room to look? Her soft voice carries a hint of seduction. Cecil's face instantly turns completely red. Is that okay? Cindy reaches out to take his hand and leads him upstairs. Cecil follows in a daze into the room. The door clicks shut and locks. Before he can react, the girl reaches out and gently pushing him onto the sofa. Cindy didn't expect that she was just trying on a whim, yet he was so easily pushed down. Lady, Cecil's face turns even redder. The next second, Cindy braces her hands on his shoulders, leans over, and actively kisses his lips. The colorful feathers that had been standing up on Cecil's head instantly droop down, but he quickly takes control, holding her and turning around, leaning down to kiss her passionately. After a while, Cindy cups his handsome face with her hands. Still angry? Cecil gently pecks her lips and buries his head in her shoulder. Not angry anymore. He can truly feel that the lady has him in her heart, and quite a lot. Thinking this, Cecil holds her and has her sit on his lap, reaching out to help tidy her somewhat disheveled hair. Cindy gently kisses him once. Then let me take a bath first. Then show me the necklace you prepared for me. Cecil blushes shyly and nods, not knowing what he's thinking about. Cindy quickly comes out of the bathroom. She took a quick shower and quickly blow-dried her hair, changing into a clean dress. Seeing her blow-dry her own hair and come out, a trace of disappointment flashes in Cecil's eyes. Cindy pretends not to notice and just smiles brightly. Where's the gemstone necklace? Here. Cecil takes out more than 10 dazzling gemstone necklaces from his space ring. Cindy casually picks up a pearl necklace inlaid with teardrop-shaped pink diamonds. Ah, so beautiful. Cecil glances at the golden snake bracelet and space ring on her wrist, saying with a hint of jealousy, lady, look and see which one you like most. Pick one to wear all the time. Cindy is confused. Wear all the time? These gems look very valuable. Since I'm an exile after all, wouldn't it be inappropriate? Lady, you are the most noble woman in the interstellar world. It won't matter. Besides, compared to your previous life on Prosperous Star, no, Cecil is about to say something, but suddenly realizes that the current Cindy is no longer the previous one who lived in luxury, indulged in pleasure, and crazily abused men, that manic depressive madwoman. But don't worry, lady. Once we leave Dark Star, I will definitely let you live the happiest life. Cindy looks thoughtful. She doesn't have many memories of Cecil, only knowing he seems to have been sent to Prosperous Star No, at a very young age to become one of her many husbands, supposedly for exchange and learning. Lady doesn't remember anything from before? Cecil looks at Cindy with confusion. I've forgotten everything. After Cindy speaks, she gets up and sits on his lap. She wraps her arms around his neck. How about you tell me? Okay. Cecil's ears turn slightly red. He reaches out to gently tuck the hair falling by Cindy's face behind her ear. I was sent to Prosperous Star Num when I was 4 years old. The lady had just turned 5 then. Cindy is surprised. 4 years old? That's still half a baby. Cecil gives a bashful smile. Pretty much, but male beast men develop intelligence earlier than ordinary humans. Besides, 4-year-olds can actually wash, dress, and sleep independently. In the interstellar beast world, the treatment of male beast men and women is vastly different. The former are often thrown out of the house to train as soon as they can walk, while raising and pampering women is not only a universal consensus but also clearly stipulated by law. Additionally, females receive large government subsidies from birth, regardless of status, ensuring they can live comfortably until 18. After 18, whether they awaken mental power or not, they're matched with a certain number of husbands by the government. You could say husbands are responsible for earning money to support the family, while women are responsible for being beautiful. Of course, women who awaken mental power also need to provide mental power comfort to husbands who awaken supernatural abilities. Cindy is curious. So, did you live with me then? Cecil shakes his head. No, we husbands had separate housing and could only see the lady once a month on specific days. The rest of the time we had to study and train. Doesn't that mean Prosperous Star No had to support you all separately? Halfway through her words, Cindy suddenly feels this isn't appropriate and quickly says, I don't mean it that way. I'm just purely curious. We were all accepted after our families fought tooth and nail to get approval from the planetary lord at the time, which was your mother. So even though your family was incredibly wealthy, each child sent to the family came with substantial gifts from their respective families. Daily expenses were also borne by each family individually, just managed uniformly by the family, which also charged a certain percentage as management fees. At that time, Cindy was still young and hadn't been tested for mental power, but her mother was one of the rare triple S level mental power holders in the interstellar world, and her father had rare 8th level supernatural abilities. According to normal genetic inheritance logic, she would be at least initial C level. Combined with Prosperous Star Number's wealth and special status in the interstellar world, she was already included in marriage arrangements by many powerful families from birth. Among the major interstellar powers, there's a practice of arranging young children to study and exchange at the target woman's home in advance. So from when Cindy was just a month old, applications to study and exchange on Prosperous Star Number were already piled as high as mountains. Most of these applications came from the four most powerful political entities in the interstellar world: the Empire, the Federation, the Military Alliance, and my family from Prosperous Star Number in the same star system as Prosperous Star No, plus many unknown small planets, but for unknown reasons, except for Cecil from Prosperous Star No. Your mother chose the remaining husbands from unknown families on small planets, the Empire's eldest and 7th princes, both born to the Emperor and Empress, along with other princes, were all on the application list. Despite their noble status and prominent backgrounds, they were all rejected by your mother. Later, when you came of age, you underwent mental power testing according to interstellar rules and selected the 5 most special and outstanding men from thousands of 100% compatibility matches to become your initial husbands. But I and you of that time didn't know any of this. Cindy is amazed. This sounds a bit like ancient Earth royalty, except the prince became a princess? Pretty much. Cecil immediately understands and smiles. The lady was originally the princess of Prosperous Star No, and also the princess in my heart. Cindy feels speechless. This sudden sweet talk catches her off guard. What happened then? She moves her arms from around his neck to hug his waist, then gently rests her head on his chest, closing her eyes like a child listening to a story. Cecil reaches out to gather the girl's petite, delicate body closer, his clear, water-like orange eyes shining with the brilliance and beauty belonging to youth. 3 days later, Galactic Prison announces a benefit mission. Venture deep into Dark Star's Zerg ruins to find the Origin Crystal Core. Success means 80 years off your sentence. The death rate is sky high, but Cindy doesn't hesitate to accept. We're going with you, Timothy. Grips her hand, golden eyes blazing with determination. Wherever my lady goes, we follow. Blake pounds his chest confidently. Cecil asks nervously, will it be very dangerous? With us there, nothing will happen to you. Luna soothes him gently. Shadow snorts coldly. If we're going to die, might as well die together. Deep in the ruins, Wendy's conspiracy unravels. She was plotting to use the Origin Crystal Core to become the Dark Queen. During the fierce battle, the dormant power within Cindy awakens. She discovers she's the true inheritor. But unlike Wendy, the awakened Cindy chooses balance between light and darkness, purifying Wendy's hatred and saving all of Dark Star. After the crisis, Cindy receives a full pardon. All charges are cleared. She chooses to rebuild Prosperity Star 3, and all 5 husbands choose to stay by her side. Don't you regret it? Cindy looks at the 5 men sitting around her. You're all free now. You could choose better lives. Timothy chuckles softly. Cindy, I've been waiting for you to come back since childhood. Now that I've found you, how could I possibly leave? Blake scratches his head sheepishly. My lady, all I know is fighting. At least staying with you, I can still protect you, Luna says warmly. This is the home I want. Cecil blushes and says, my lady, I just want to be with you. Shadow turns away, stubbornly muttering, who says I'm doing this for you? I'm just too lazy to move somewhere else. The rebuilt Prosperity Star 3 is beautiful and pleasant. Cindy doesn't become some lofty queen, but lives an ordinary yet blissful life with her 5 husbands. Timothy always rises earliest, preparing breakfast for Cindy. He gently kisses her forehead to wake her. Cindy, time to get up, then tenderly helps her dress and brush her hair, like caring for a precious porcelain doll. You don't need to be so careful with me, Cindy laughs. It's a habit. Timothy's eyes overflow with adoration. Besides, I love taking care of you. Blake handles the home security, patrolling their territory every day, but his favorite activity is still training with Cindy in the garden. My lady, your combat skills are improving, Blake says excitedly. But you're still not strong enough. Eat more meat. I'm already trying my best to eat, Cindy says helplessly. Then I'll go hunting more, make you the most nutritious meals. Blake pounds his chest in promise. Luna becomes the household manager, arranging everything perfectly. He always senses Cindy's needs and prepares everything before she even asks. Luna, how did you know I wanted tea? Cindy looks surprised at the silver-haired man who suddenly appears beside her. My lady always wants tea at 3 in the afternoon. Today, it's mint tea. Luna smiles as he pours for her. Tomorrow you'll want jasmine tea. You know my habits this well? Those who care about you naturally notice everything about you, Luna says tenderly. Cecil is the family's ray of sunshine, always finding ways to make Cindy happy. He weaves flower crowns for her, grows exotic flowers in the garden, and transforms into a beautiful peacock display when she's feeling down. My lady, look at the new dance I learned today. Cecil shows off excitedly, his colorful feathers shimmering in the sunlight. Very beautiful, Cindy can't help but applaud. Just be careful not to fall. For my lady, even falling would be worth it. Cecil grins so wide his eyes crinkle into crescents. Shadow remains his sharp-tongued, prideful self, but his care always shows in his actions. When Cindy falls ill, he brews medicine. When she faces danger, he's the first to appear. When she's sad, he quietly stays by her side. Why are you so quiet today? Cindy asks Shadow, who's reading. Too noisy. Let me have some peace. Shadow doesn't even look up. But when Cindy starts to leave, he coldly says, sit down. Stop wandering around. As time passes, the bond between all 6 deepens. Cindy no longer needs to deliberately balance the 5 men's relationships, because they've all found their own place. I love each of you, but in different ways, Cindy tells the 5 honestly. I hope we can always be this happy. Of course we will. Timothy takes her hand. We've been through the hardest times. It'll only get better now. Whatever my lady says goes, Blake shouts in agreement. We'll always be with you, Luna says gently. Forever and ever. Cecil nods vigorously. Stupid question. Do you even need to ask? Shadow mutters awkwardly. One afternoon, a year later, in the palace gardens of Prosperity Star 3, Cindy sits in a rocking chair in the pavilion, holding a book, but her attention is on the 5 men around her, each busy with their own tasks. The breeze carries flower fragrances. Birds sing in the branches. This peaceful, beautiful life is something Cindy never dared dream of before. What are you thinking about, my lady? Luna approaches with tea, keenly noticing her distraction. Thinking about our old days, Cindy sighs. Back then, I was figuring out how to divorce you all. Now I can't bear to leave any of you. My lady was so silly back then. Cecil runs over and sits at her feet. Such wonderful husbands, and you wanted to abandon us. Who says we're wonderful? Shadow snorts. Clearly, this woman can't live without us. Yes, I can't live without you all. Cindy shakes her head with a laugh. Especially a certain two-faced snake. Shadow's face reddens as he turns away, ignoring her. All right, stop teasing Shadow. Timothy fondly ruffles Cindy's hair. He's thin-skinned. Who's thin-skinned? Shadow immediately whirls around to protest. I just can't be bothered arguing with you idiots. Seeing Shadow bristle up, everyone can't help but laugh. As the sun sets and evening clouds fill the sky, this once broken family is now complete and happy. Everyone has found their place and purpose. Cindy closes her eyes, feeling the deep love from her 5 husbands and the unbreakable bonds between them all. She grew from a despised criminal into a queen who saved the star system. A lonely soul gained 5 devoted partners. We'll always be this happy, won't we? Cindy asks softly. Of course, 5 voices answer in unison, filled with certainty and tenderness. In each other's company, they found their eternal happiness. This isn't just love's triumph, but redemption from hatred to harmony. The road ahead is long, but they're no longer afraid. Whatever difficulties they face, they'll meet them hand in hand, never to be separated.